We're doing it. We're doing it well. Hello, everybody. We're live. Hello.
Good afternoon.
I'm outside now. I have the outdoors. It's a nice day. It's like 70 degrees out over here. So, crack them if you got them.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you have one?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh shit! Oh damn! I didn't know. I didn't even tell you about that. All right, let's go. Crack. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
I was a screw off cap, but there we
go. You just got to make the sound with your teeth. Then you just got to go.
Yeah, there you go.
Man, you know who's not doing great? This Joe Kent dude. Just gonna right into the subject.
I don't know. I mean, it depends on what your metric is for doing great. Because I imagine since he was on Tucker Carlson's show almost immediately, he probably already has like a six-figure Qatari check in his bank account.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. That's how it goes.
On the internet
that was so.
Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say everybody predicted it. It was so on brand. It was like, okay, first thing you do after you fuck Trump over is you go on a Tucker Carlson show.
It's eerie. Like I made a joke about it when that was like first breaking, where he was like trying to his resignation letter was trying to accuse Israel of everything. And
which what the fuck?
Yeah, I know, but it's just like I put that in like a different Discord server I'm in, and I joked, and I was just like, I'm not reading that. I'll just wait a week for him to go on Tucker Carlson and tell me all about it, and then
he
was on Tucker within 2 days.
Yeah, no, it was announced the day of, I think, or the day after at the very latest. But yes, and then he just went on, and so for anybody who doesn't know, Joe Kent is a Washington attempted politician, twice attempted politician. Washington State, right?
Yeah.
Or is he Oregon?
I'm trying to remember where he actually ran for office, because he didn't get office. He didn't win office.
Yeah, he
got an appointment.
I heard that he took 2 fairly safe red districts and then flipped them blue. So he was the red candidate, and he lost a pretty safe red area. Yeah, maybe those locals know something we don't, right?
Yeah, so it was Washington. Yeah, it was Washington State, I think.
Thank you for the fact check. Yeah.
Yeah.
Washington and Oregon kind of bleed into my mind. They're like the same place, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame they're so just wretchedly blue too, because it's like I to hear it.
Yeah.
The Pacific Northwest is some of the most beautiful areas.
Yeah. We just got to de-urbanize Portland and Seattle, and I think the entire states will just become Twin Peaks. That'd be all right with me. I'd be like Twin Peaks Americans.
We gotta get Howdy Doodly out of there before we do that, because he lives in the greater Seattle area. So we gotta get him out of there.
Yeah, we're gonna get
Yeah, then do it. Then he can go back.
I'm just gonna release baboons. That's my WMD. Like the most racist baboons who eat human flesh.
Yeah.
I like asking Grok unhinged questions, because I would ask Grok, okay, if I release 1 baboon for every 1,000 residents of Washington State, how long would it take for the baboons, given their meat intake, how long would it take for them to eat all of the people? Which essentially is me asking how many days does it take for 1 baboon to eat 1,000 people?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's mandrills are the ones that
Oh, really?
I think mandrills have eaten people, or not people. Well, maybe people, but I know they'll eat I think they've eaten smaller animals in a pinch. So
maybe it's mandrills. The ones with the gigantic fangs. Yeah, the really nasty looking ones. What the hell? Why is monkeys are usually
the ones with the weird blue and red nose?
I think so. Yeah,
that's a mandrill, and
that's horrifying shit, man. Why do you have a dragon? It's like an Asian dragon on a monkey's body. You know what I mean? An Asian.
If they did. So do you know that in the original draft of Star Wars, Yoda was supposed to be played by a chimp? It was gonna be a chimp. Yeah, it was gonna be a chimp.
So hot.
Yeah, and they were just gonna dub him over with Frank Oz, but then they're
that's so fucking awesome.
It's just
that's so fucking awesome, really.
Yeah, there's a draft. There's a draft though where it's make him a mandrill, because you look at that monkey, it's that monkey knows ancient mystical arts. You can just see it in his face. He knows something that we don't. I'm just
imagining Star Wars, but it's Bo and the Bear. It's a trucker TV show from the 70s, where it's a trucker and his pet chimp are just going across the United States and getting into scraps.
Okay, so
it's
sorry.
You good?
I looked it up. So mandrills have been known to eat. They mostly eat insects, but they have been known to eat birds, rodents, and lizards. As far as I can see from just a basic ask Google AI, there is no recorded incident of a mandrill eating human flesh. But I mean,
All right.
if they'll eat a small animal, they'll eat an Oregonian or a Seattleite.
The mandrills look really mean for a mouse eater, don't you think? Like they don't need to look that mean for a mat to get a. I mean, cats eat mice.
Sure.
They're like the best at eating mice. Like, and they look adorable. Why don't mandrills?
There's other kinds of rodents that can get like kind of big, I guess. But yeah.
That's true. That's true. Some sort of jungle rat.
I mean, much like with people, since we descended from like the primates. I mean, like most of monkeys, like a monkey will like mess you up because like they've got like ridiculous strength. But a lot of monkey culture is like it's mostly just intimidation. Like monkeys like train on, like, being scary, but not necessarily like destroying stuff unless they have to.
Yeah, they just like if they don't get understood properly, like a chimp. And by the way, if you want to know about chimps, you can ask Joe Rogan all about that. He's actually pretty good about that. It seems like if they're in socially misanthropic, they actually go insane and start like gloving people and just doing horrible stuff.
Yeah, they will go off and like attack people and destroy them in like horrific ways because they have like super strength. But like in the actual like animal kingdom, like monkeys mostly it's mostly like a lot of like intimidation is how they get what they want.
Oh, right. I mean, it's like humans too, right? It's
exactly.
Like,
yeah, that's what I was saying. It's just like
we got the first chimp president. He's just intimidating people like crazy, and then once in a while, just like and actually loses his mind and like actually blows stuff up.
And a Grok edit of Donald Trump as an orangutan would be awesome. Oh no, wait, better. Dr. Zayas as Trump.
Dr. Zayas as Trump, absolutely. Yeah. That's so stupid. The people who keep doubting Trump keep ending up wrong. Who are in the MAGA movement. So what we have right now, we have subversives, right? We have subversives. I won't say much on this subject. I'm sure we'll get into it another time. Sure. Is it? There's like a taxonomy of subversives, and the first one I'm going to say is the pretending to be Catholic. I know it's not real Catholics. It seems like it's just the horrible ones. Which is like so let's just go through the list of like what happens if you're an anti-MAGA, right? You're a rebellion. You used to be MAGA guy. You go on a Tucker Carlson show. You become Catholic, or if you're already Catholic, you become super Catholic or something. It's like now it's time to.
You pick one of the weird like fringe movements like Sedvankitism, or I can never say that word right.
Integralism is that another one? It's
like integrationist, yeah, or integralist, I think is how you say it.
Yeah.
Weird guys who are like, we need to like make America a Catholic theocracy, which like not even the Catholic Church wants us to do. They don't want any country to be a theocracy. What else do they do? Do they go on the Theo Vaughn's show? I guess they just go on the podcast circuit, really. I mean, they go on a very specific podcast circuit, so it's going to be like
Dave Smith,
Candace Owens.
Who's
that other guy with like the mask? Like people always draw him with like a shitty looking mustache and like a really big overbite.
Oh yeah, Ian Carroll. Yeah.
You go on Ian Carroll. It's like those guys. You get a bunch of like Nick Fuentes will probably like puff you up to the groypers like on his show, be like, this Joe Kent guy, like he says a lot of good stuff.
Well, which I will say though, actually, apparently Fuentes does not like Joe Kent, so I think Fuentes is just finger into the air, which way the wind blowing is, and he is the ultimate. By the way, speaking of rodents, he is such a good rat, and I don't like it. I don't mind rats. I just want everyone to be all they can be, right? And he is such a good little rat-faced rat. And I think he sees the ship sinking and he's trying to get off of it.
Well, I said this as a joke. I was just like, Nick Fuentes might be retarded, but he's not stupid. And that's like the whole thing. Like he has his whole angle is just retarded and like it's terrible. It's obviously very anti-America, but like he's really good at he's good at seeing where things are going, where he can like re-entrench himself to like get a little like boost. It's like you said, he's like a rat that's really good at swimming and finding another ship to get on before that one sinks too.
Yeah. So he's
trying to do that whole like I'm just gonna become a liberal. I'm just gonna become a Democrat. That's what I'm gonna do. And it's just like that did cost him like a lot with like the Groypers, who even that was like a step too far for them, and so
Right.
now
Well,
he's trying to double
he
back
tries.
now.
Yeah, he tries stuff out. Like he's definitely is like that's the putting your finger in the wind.
Yeah,
Honestly, just to figure out the way the wind blowing. So he'll try stuff and then reverse his position. The man has no convictions. He's just here for the love of the game, I guess.
I mean, when the money rolls in, he'll keep doing it. I mean, that's what I've always said. Like, I was like, I'm sure you've heard the meme that like Nick Fuentes is a Fed. I don't think he's actually a Fed himself. I think he's just like an asset. I think they just keep him on the payroll and just like tell him what to say to like disseminate
Yeah, it could be.
negative statements, because they realized my big, and this is going to come off like sounding like a conspiracy theorist, but my big thing is he was compromised around Jan 6, because
Oh
you
yeah, yeah.
remember,
He told people to go in.
yeah, he told people to go in, he was there, and then like when he was like at risk of going to like federal prison, he just rolled on everybody, and he
Such a
gave
rat,
yeah,
rat boy.
he gave up all of his supporters, and then like that's when like the
That's
left
awesome.
wing of the deep state is like, we can use this, and so they started like
That's
cutting
so
him
funny.
checks. Yeah, they just started cutting him checks to just say like anything that will like try to get like dissident right leaning people to like not support Trump, like just like throw some money at. But
Well,
the problem is he only has like a couple thousand people like at his beck and call, and like none of them vote anyway, so who cares?
yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, by the way, one of the reasons why I don't like the no enemies to the right, like this whole unity thing.
uh
Um, it's really good actually if you really harshly criticize your own people when they make a mistake. I think in all the denunciations actually work well, and I know that's not going to make a lot of people happy, and I really couldn't give a shit. The denunciations, first off, tell your own people that I'm not going to be backing you if you do some crazy ratchet shit,
uh
right?
yeah.
Second all, it tells the middle that you're not a partisan psychopath. It's like, okay, well, because even though the left will never accept your apology, the middle does see it and they appreciate it. But like further, the final point though is, if you chastise those who've made a mistake and make it hard for them to get back in, uh, what you're doing is you're making it not so easy to be impregnated by feds. Your movement, because if you just allow someone to do something really stupid and then just let them right back in, like you've just invited him. Like it's almost like he went into the zombie horde, right? It's like, I'll be right back, I'm gonna get the supplies, goes into the zombie horde, comes right back like, oh, I'm back, guys. Hey, what's that blood on you for? It's like, don't worry about it, it's nothing. It's like, don't let him back in the compound.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you guys doing? Let me back in, come on. Like, you weren't supposed to go out there in the first place, and now you come back covered in blood, and you need to go into the quarantine hut. All right, you need to shut the fuck up for like 12 months. Like, you're in timeout. Like,
it's like you gotta do something to show that you're like, you've actually like kind of like remunerated your ideas.
And I think the timeout after doing something naughty, it affects their income, and it affects the one thing they want above all is attention. These podcasters. So
Sure.
if one of them, I think that's the biggest sacrifice you could ask them to make is just be quiet. Like if Elijah Schaefer just shut the fuck up for 12 months, we would know he's not an asset, but he can't shut up. So we kind of know he is. We highly suspect he is one.
Sure. I mean, not everybody who like does stuff I don't like is a Fed. They might just be stupid. And like I forget like the logical razor, but there's like a logical razor that says like, never attribute to malice that which can be attributed to stupidity.
Yeah, it's Occam's razor. The thing is, I also don't want stupid people in my movement.
That's also a good
So
point.
it's like, yeah, so it's like the same thing as like, get out of my movement.
You know, it's really funny. You might appreciate this because I know that you like watching like older movies. But have you ever seen a movie called A Face in the Crowd with Andy Griffith?
No, I've not actually. I didn't know that.
No, it's really good. It's made by the director was Eliza Kazan or Elia Kazan, the guy who made On the Waterfront and got in trouble for like testifying and like naming communists to HUAC. But
Okay.
he made this movie called The Face in the Crowd, and it starred Andy Griffith before he was like the Andy Griffith Show, like before he was famous
Right.
for that.
Yeah, yeah.
He plays a miserable piece of shit that kind of is like a proto like Nick Fuentes figure, because he's just sort of this like folksy drifter who like says all the right things that everybody wants to hear. And his whole visage is like he likes to like he's not scared to talk truth to power, and this producer woman at a TV station like gives him a TV show, like a talk show, and he like immediately goes mad with power. And like it's very quickly he just like shows his true face to like everybody at the studio. It's like all those people out there listen to me and they'll do what I tell them to because they're
Wow.
stupid, because they're stupid sheep and I know how to talk to them. And if I
Well,
want,
and did the
yeah,
camera turn out to be on?
yeah, exactly. They do
Yeah.
they do a little turn like that. Like, but like that's the problem. Is like halfway through the movie they do that, and he bounces back for a little bit, and
Oh,
then
really?
yeah, it's a really good movie. Because it's just like
Funny, facing the crowd.
yeah, it's a really good look into just sort of like how just like populism is like it's really easy to be misused by people who are just like greedy and selfish and like only out for themselves. And
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's one of the main issues of populism, really. Like, I want the people to be in power, but um, elitism is a bit of a buffer to just try and slow down change. Essentially, always the best choice is to slow things down, which is why I don't like the accelerationists and I don't like the sort of pants shitters that say like, Trump's not going fast enough. Go faster. Do more stuff. It's like, no, go slowly.
yeah,
I mean, right now we're doing stuff fast and it's kind of risky. So hopefully
yeah,
it plays out all right.
the was it yeah the Iran operation it was pretty kind of like hit the ground running with that, and I'm not worried about it. It's going to, I mean, from my point of view, it's going exceptionally well for
Yeah.
compared to how we're used to military operations in the Middle East going.
Oh
But
yeah, no, it's going great. It's just the gas prices need to come down. That's all for
well,
midterms.
well, I was talking about that too. It's like, I mean, if I was in charge, I would immediately like get everybody from like Texaco and Shell Oil. I'd get them together in one room. I'd be like, I want you right now where where OPEC isn't getting one of their biggest producers to contribute. I want you guys to drill and just like drum as much crude as you possibly
I
can,
mean,
and then just like see if we can't break OPEC this time.
yeah, five to 10 years later, you might be able to catch up. It's an entire. The problem is our oil trade is global, so you have to sell to the entire world to lower the prices. I mean, because we could have our own price of gas. If there was a big trade embargo, it's like, listen, the Western Hemisphere does not trade oil or gas or energy at all with the rest of the world. Like, this is us. This is the Western Hemisphere is just the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah.
Then we would actually have independent like oil and gas prices. That would not be affected. Actually, which is not a bad reason to have that agreement. Like, why should the entire global price of oil, like if some Iranian crazy person kicks off, why does my gas get more expensive, even though none of my gas comes from there? Well, it's because it's a global market, you know.
But like people complain about like, why don't we just drill for our own oil? And then I explain to them like what OPEC is and how it works, and like, well, that doesn't sound like that. I don't understand how that factors in. I was like, I just explained to you why domestic oil production is in a like constant state of like stranglehold, and it's because of OPEC. Like, it's a socialist oil cartel, and they control the world because they're all in it together, and like they could just like let the price of crude just like bottom out for 6 months just to fuck everyone else over. And it affects them like not at all because they've all nationalized their oil. So
correct. That's one of the reasons why. Yeah, it's one of the reasons why China's so effective at like you can't. There's no economic solution to OPEC or the CCP because, as you said, they're willing to bottom out.
Yeah.
Just to fuck you over, which is illegal to do in the United States if you're a U.S. business.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
We don't allow cartels to operate on U.S. soil. So, but I mean, there are benefits, that's the big one that everyone's just like, I hate this war in Iran because it's like it only benefits Israel. It doesn't benefit anyone else. I was like, well, actually, here's where you're wrong. It benefits us because Iran is run by crazy people who on the regular have a daily mantra of death to America, and they're also the biggest like bankroller of global terrorism.
Correct. Yeah.
And so like if they're in disarray, that makes other terrorist groups weaker because they're not getting the donations and like everything they need from Iran. Secondly, it hurts China even more because now China can't get oil from Iran, and they desperately need that oil because they're not getting any from Venezuela either. And
right, yeah.
That's a second order benefit for us. Like the weaker we can make China, the better.
Yeah, like actually taking down Iran, it because they're the main sponsors of like the Houthis, right? Who shut down the what's the strait through Egypt? I'm blanking on it. Sinai, but no, it's not the
No.
Strait of. It's the Strait of something. Anyways, yeah, no, it's the canal, Suez Canal. Yeah, so the Suez
Suez
Canal
Canal.
was yeah, like that waterway is clogged up with uh, terrorist groups attacking. Same
Sure.
thing with other waterways. It's just like having global terrorism is bad for the entire world, like the entire Western world. Like what that Suez Canal and what the Strait of Hormuz are for our many people, but including our allies in Europe, are ostensibly our allies.
Sure.
It's like no, it helps. It helps to get rid of the crazy regime. And the thing is that this regime is not even ruling its own people. Essentially, it's a foreign op. It's a foreign um, despot, right? Who's over the Persian people.
Yeah, because
Like,
the Persians, they want the Shah to come back, but they can't say that out loud because the Ayatollah and the mullahs will just kill them.
yeah, correct.
But they want the Shah back, and but there's like the other thing is like it's good for us because I mean just yesterday morning Japan signed a ridiculously huge deal to get a bunch of our domestically produced oil because they're not getting any from Middle East either.
Yeah,
And
correct.
not only that, we got they're going to give us like $40 billion for like a cooperative like nuclear power plant option. And that's great. That's awesome. And you got to you got to give it to the Japanese. I mean, was it
Yeah.
the whole thing that happened during World War II and then Fukushima? Like these people have been really kind of like done some bad turns by nuclear power, but they never give up on it.
No. So they're practical people. They kind of are. The Japanese are pretty used to disasters wiping them out. That's like one of the reasons why Godzilla is kind of their sort of cultural mascot in a lot of ways, is because they're so used to massive storms, hurricanes, or whatever, or just like monsoons just wiping out cities, or earthquakes, or volcanoes. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So they're used to disasters. They don't catastrophize. They just get right back on it.
Also, every world leader on the entire face of the globe, if you want to do business with us, you need to sit down and you need to be like football players watching film of Prime Minister Takaichi and like the way she like handled Trump yesterday. Because that is exactly how you like get what you want from Trump. And also like Abe did the same thing. She was just copying what Abe did, and Donald Trump loved Shinzo Abe like to death. And he seems to really like Takaichi as well. Like they seem like they're really good friends already.
I think it's gonna be funny because I work for a company that's Japanese, and but it's run by a bunch of Silicon Valley people. So it's gonna be interesting that like all the Japanese like Trump, and then all the Silicon Valley people are like, I don't want to talk about it. But it's like, but Japan really likes Trump, so they're going to just deal with it. I don't even know if there's like,
They think he's like the average Japanese person. Like they don't really know our politics. They know who's president, but other than that, they don't really care because it doesn't really affect them in any way.
Yeah.
They think he's like they think he's funny as like a cultural icon because he's a lot more lively than other presidents we've had in like the modern age. So he's just kind of fun to watch. And,
right.
I know that like a lot of the like more like right leaning Japanese politicians seem to like him because he's more like he's more economically minded, and that's the Japanese like favorite weapon to use is economics. So
right. Well, they also have a massive economic liability in that the CCP is right there.
Exactly.
So they're going to need a strong economy. They have to rebuild their military. I guess I don't know if we should try to get back to Joe Kent at all. Let's go ahead and focus on Joe Kent for a little bit and summarize it, and then really put the nail in that coffin. Is that all right? So to catch everybody up on Joe Kent here is he wrote a resignation letter. Right, he was the counterterrorism chief. He wrote a resignation letter rather suddenly, or at least seemed suddenly to me. And yes, as you said before, he's like blames Israel for like the death of his wife, which was it was ISIS that killed his wife in Syria. And
he blamed he blamed the Jews for killing his wife, starting a war that killed his wife. But the war that killed his wife was the Syrian civil war, which they had very little, if anything, to do with.
Yeah, exactly. It's all Groyper slop. And it's this long resignation letter, which, by the way, if you ever write a resignation letter, it needs to be short.
Oh, yeah.
A long resignation letter is, unless it's just full of thank yous, everybody, then it's always a bad idea. But second off, yes, he goes into, like I said, he goes up to Tucker Carlson, he's doing the whole route. And what we didn't talk about though is that his positions, like as early as recently as 3 months ago, was Iran is an imminent threat, Israel is our greatest ally, that sort of stuff.
I need to find it, but I really wish there was a search bar option for your Twitter like, so you could like search for specific things you liked. But there was someone found one of his campaign letters from when he was running for office in Washington, and he specifically said he was in favor of giving more like military support to Israel. Like he specifically said he wanted to like give them more like military support.
That's so funny. Yeah, so he's done a total 180. So all right, to summarize, a rather divisive and factually incorrect resignation letter, a very sudden about face on multiple publicly stated policies of his.
I would also like to point this out. A lot of people are now speculating that his abrupt like quitting was actually about the fact that he was being shut out from meetings, specifically because Trump had like people like keeping tabs on him, and it was found. He was leaking stuff to like possibly news outlets, and so because they knew he was a leak, they started like shutting him out of meetings. So he wasn't getting to go into meetings, and he wasn't getting any more information to leak. And people are saying like, no, they're just making that up to make him look bad now that he quit. But I found one of these. Shelby Talcott found evidence that internal investigations were already ongoing like months before this happened. It's been known that he's a leak.
And I think it was confirmed there's an FBI investigation on him now.
There is. There's also the part that he tried. The most disgusting thing I think is while he was on Tucker, he tried to say the last words that Charlie Kirk ever said to me before he died. Don't let Trump start a war with Iran.
Which is funny because Joe has nothing to do with that decision. Like he wouldn't be in that discussion. But
also, if you're our head of counterterrorism or whatever his title was, and you don't think Iran is a threat when they've been in like a tepid state of conflict with us for almost like 46 years, like, come on, like what are you doing? Like, you're not the guy for the job if that's how you think.
Sorry, 1 second. My audio is having an issue. Go ahead and keep talking.
No, you're good. But yeah, I'm trying to find more of my
sources. All right, okay, there you go.
Unfortunately, I saved these like 2 or 3 days ago, so I'm having to like scroll through and find them now that it's like pertinent.
Oh, no worries. Sorry, I was just getting a phone call in the middle of this. I got to put this on Do Not Disturb. Yeah, so he's also under investigation, and like, okay, so all these factors come into place, and you know what people did? The absolute NPCs. Which a lot of these people were the same ones that were screaming, no more forever wars or whatever, no regime change wars during the Iran 12-day war, which is just we dropped a few bombs and left. All those same people are now like lockstep saying, Joe Kent is a hero. He knows what the sacrifice to your country means. And he has information that we don't. We got to trust him. I was like, yeah.
Sorry, I just found it. So this is dated from October 7th.
Are you able to share your screen? I could put you on stage.
Yeah.
The share screen button is explore that. But yeah, like all these things come together, and you have people defending him despite the evidence, right? And they're all saying the same sort of talking points, which probably just means everyone's talking the same, like thinking the same. But the defense of this Joe Kent guy.
Okay, here we go.
Is a massive blow to the reputation of veteran Twitter because so many veterans were on his back or like defend. Oh, 1 second. Here, vamp.
Okay, so yeah, I've got it pulled up. I'm sharing my screen now for those of you who can see it.
Oh my gosh, and again. See how he's going out?
Sounds like Alex is having quite the time here. But yes, so I won't read this off until he comes back. But yeah, here's for immediate release, Joe Kent's U.S. Congress kind of just like mission statement. There's a mission statement sheet where he's talking about how he condemns attacks on Israel and he condemns Biden for his weak leadership.
Hey, Benign, my sheep just got out. I got to put him away.
Oh. He's lost his flock.
My
Uh,
sheep has escaped. I'll be right back.
that's okay. Yeah, while Alex is dealing with that, I'm going to take a moment to step away myself to get something to drink. So please bear with us for just one moment. Okay, I have I have returned. I am back. I've got myself some whiskey, so I am back. Let me. I don't know if I can read the comments. Let me see. Let me see here. Yeah, so it looks like we don't have too many people in the we don't have too many people in the chat. But yes, if any of you have any questions while Alex is away, feel free to let them go because I don't want to keep talking about the that press release I found until he gets back, because I think he might find it to be interesting. I see that I had my way with Nick Fuentes is here. Hello, thank you for joining us. I assume howdy doodly, or Print, is I call him Print. I imagine Print's probably in the audience. If he's not, he can say something. Uh, But yes, unfortunately, there are many technical difficulties with the stream. Alex is usually a pretty smart guy. Hard to think he got outsmarted by some sheep, but I guess they found a way.
I know, right? I got the good grade stuff here. Felt it over there. I'll have to grab it.
I can hear him going in the background. He's trying to get him. That's funny. Uh, let me let me see if I got anything important.
There it is.
Okay. It sounds like he's coming back now. Let's see. Let's see. I had my way with Nick Fuentes. I decided to join the Mormon Church, and they are sending someone to talk to me in a bit. Hey, man, that's awesome. When I was in high school, one of my best friends on the football team was Mormon, and he was a very nice guy. Mormons are a little out there with some of the things that they believe, but I don't think I don't really think they're that bad. I think they're very polite, nice people. So, yeah, it's if that's what you have decided, that's right on, man. Good for you. Always. Did you were you a Christian before you decided to become Mormon, or were you coming from a different faith? Were you coming from atheism, agnosticism, anything like that? Yeah, I can just tell that Alex is he's having a hard time. He's really going all the way through it. Ah, I see. I see. So you're from Utah. So yeah, that's pretty standard. Yeah, a lot of Mormons in Utah for obvious reasons, but well, yeah, and that's hard to hear about your parents, but I mean, yeah, man. Personally, I think it was a I don't I'm sure you've watched the show before. I'm a Catholic. I'm not very judgy about it, so I'm just kind of it's important to me more that people are coming to Christ more than my specific Church of Christ. So that's great, man. I'm happy for you that you're looking into your spiritual horizons. So that's good. Good for you.
Oh yeah, I need a rest. All right, ready? Let go.
I don't want to tell the viewers what it sounds like Alex is doing to those sheep with his camera turned off, but I think you can imagine. Usually pick up and move. Ah, I see. Okay. Yeah, I can see that, but I mean that is one of the benefits of Mormonism is that they are pretty widespread. So it's not like you have to worry about going somewhere where you're not going to be able to find a church because the Mormons usually go pretty much everywhere on their missionary work. So yeah, good for you, man. I've got someone new in the chat. Hi, Nick Cares. What's going on? Alex is dealing with some farm shenanigans. Unfortunately, some of his sheep slipped the fence, so he's having to wrangle them, and he's left me to just kind of vamp with the crowd until he gets back. So that's what we're dealing with.
Oh.
I can hear him. I can hear the sheep in the background. Ah, you were in the Navy. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, my old man was in the Navy. So yeah,
Oh.
I come from a military family myself, but I'm the only one who never served. Oh wait, is he back? He might be back.
Oh my gosh! I
Sounds
had
like
my video. I should have left my video on. I was carrying a 250-pound sheep
yeah.
like across the back here.
I joked while you had your stream off. I said
Oh.
I don't want to tell the viewers what it sounds like Alex is doing to those sheep with his camera off.
Oh my god! Holy shit! You're gonna need to keep talking for a little bit. I got to recover.
You're good. I'm just kind of interacting with the chat right now. So
sounds like a 70-yard carry. It's a fat boy. He's such a dumbass too. He just wanted to eat clover the entire time, and I haven't mowed my lawn yet. So I'm trying to tempt him to move. My wife moved all the animal halters. It's basically like a really beefy leash. So I used my belt. And he actually popped the belt.
Oh no!
Oh my god! Jeez.
I hear sheep are they're not very smart, but they're very crafty. So
That's so dumb.
They'll be smart enough to get out, but then they'll be too stupid to save themselves if they deal with the real world. So.
Oh yeah.
Luckily, if you need to catch your breath now that you're back, I'll just go ahead and read this out because I'm sharing my screen. But so this is the.
All right, let me put. I gotta put your screen up.
Okay, yeah.
So, as soon as I figure out how to do that.
That's okay.
No, I got it. There we go.
Okay. So this is dated for immediate release October 7th, 2023. So this is the last time he was running for Congress. So Joe Kent condemns attacks on Israel and Biden Perez. I guess Perez was the person he was running against for weak leadership, Battleground Washington. Joe Kent made the following statement. I am saddened and angered by the violent attacks against our ally Israel. Our ally Israel.
Yeah, that's funny.
Hamas unprecedented violence, which was made possible by the Biden administration, providing the number one state sponsor of terror $6 billion. Yeah, so they're not a threat. He told Tucker Carlson they're not a threat, but now he's saying they're the number one state sponsor of terror, which is true. That's what Iran is. 6 billion and sending over 300 billion of our tax dollars to assist terrorists in Gaza. Biden has consistently enabled Iran and its proxies to indiscriminately attack Israeli civilians. Okay, so it sounds like maybe the Israelis aren't the bad guys here, Joe.
Yeah, yeah.
Marie Perez did not condemn Rep. Pramila Jayapal, Indian
Familia
name.
Jayapal, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Indian name. When she labeled Israel a racist state. Okay, so now he cares that Israel's being slandered. Okay, interesting. And she refused to remove the anti-Semitic. Yeah, now he cares about anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
Representative Ilhan Omar from the House Foreign Affairs Committee, which I mean, granted, we all want Ilhan Omar removed from the country.
Right, right.
When I get to Congress, I will not authorize 1 cent of financial aid to Iran or Hamas, and I will make sure Israel gets the weaponry they need to keep themselves secure. Come on, like this is yeah,
Yeah,
this is not a principled man taking a brave stand. This is a fool trying to like puff his chest out and like get the gibbs wherever he can get them. And like this guy right here,
yeah, yeah.
this response makes a good point. Like he's quoting somebody else, but said, "There's a rule in conservative politics that a man is rarely to the right of his wife. Joe Kent lost his first wife in war and remarried a woman who now works for a far-left, anti-Israel, pro-Iran website. Kent should never have been appointed to anything in the Trump administration," which I could not
Yeah.
agree more.
Yeah, like honestly, it's a massive liability, and the thing is his positions are so cookie cutter, right? His positions now are so cookie cutter that he obviously didn't write them, right?
Sure.
Like they're indefensible, which is why he can only go into.
Yeah, Tucker Carlson. Well, I was gonna say apparently
Yeah.
he was also like in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Apparently he was pro-Russia and like argued that like Russia was completely justified to like I forget like which territory they were trying to seize, but he said that they were like completely justified to like take that territory.
Mm,
And it's like so okay, so this guy is like he's pro like now he's like anti-Israel. He's like kind of pro like certain Middle East countries and he's also like pro Russia expansionism. So yeah, it's pretty obvious to see like what like political cadre he stands with and who's signing his checks. And that's the thing. Like
right.
none of these guys say this stuff because they believe it. They're getting paid. Like nothing Tucker Carlson says is because he actually thinks it. He's getting paid by Qatari oil barons to say what he says and do what he does.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like so anybody standing on his side is either very ill informed or just on that side. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
it's so naked and easy and indefensible, and so readily. Like there's a Joe Kent tweet for about to counter everything he said. You know, so
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, exactly. And I'll share my screen again. I just had to get to the tweet because I know that
sure.
this is the one that I sent to our group chat because I thought it would be pertinent for us talking about this. So hang on a second. I'll share this one too.
Sure.
Let's see. Okay, so
Yeah, it's funny the way Streamlabs or Streamyard works it. I have to go to the participant section to add your screen.
yeah, so this was a post from JT Alexander that was talking about the mice principle. And for those of you who don't know what that is, the mice principle is like that's an old like CIA like sort of like counterintelligence term for like the reason why like moles and leakers become moles and leakers. It's an acronym that stands for money, ideology, coercion, or ego, and that's pretty much those are the only reasons why
Yeah.
people like roll on the United States. It's either someone paid them off, they actually hate America because they believe in a competing ideology, they're being forced to, or they're just like it's an ego problem. Where I'm seeing shades of Joe Kent and what was his name? Ed, like Ed
Vinman?
no, the something Snow.
Edward Snowden.
Edward Snowden. Yeah, it's like Edward Snowden didn't do what he did because he thought it was right or because he thought he was fixing a problem. He did it because he had this weird, like, egotistical hero fantasy where he thought he would do this and he'd be like renowned as like the hero that like exposed the like the surveillance state. But it's like we already kind of knew that was happening anyway because of like other things that like were revealed from like certain other like independent findings during the Bush administration. But him just kind of like blowing the whistle like that, it's just kind of like he didn't solve anything, and all he did was just like make himself into like a wretched like villain amongst pretty much everybody who actually cares about this country. And like the only place he can live now is was Russia. Is he still living in Russia?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's like he rolled on America. He ran to Russia to give them like God only knows how many other secrets, and like wouldn't you know, they gave him a state mandated like Russian wife. And,
really?
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, apparently that's what happened. Like he like some Russian model chick like married him, and I'm like, that's it's very organic.
Right. Well, he's now their property. If they have his children.
Yeah, exactly.
If he has children.
But yeah, it kind of good. Like this just kind of breaks down. Like I liked this tweet because it kind of breaks down like why Joe Kent would have done this, and Alexander like he puts it straight up to ego, where like because it says he was a Green Beret, so like by necessity, if you want to be in special forces, you have to be a little bit egotistical because like that's what those guys. That's how they hype themselves up for all the crazy shit that they do. Is like I'm the baddest. I'm the baddest of the bad. Like I chew nails and spit napalm, like that kind of like they all kind of have that attitude to like, like, cope with like all the dangerous missions they do. It's like talk about running for office. That takes a lot of like pride and ego to like want to put yourself up on the stage like that. Trying to like run a primary on somebody who's like in the same party as you, that takes a big ego because you have to like essentially like go on like a big like run campaign of like why you're better than that person and why they're not as good as you. Right,
exactly. And nobody really asked him to do it, as far as I know. I mean, here's I'm usually a big fan of like good discernment, right? Like I pride myself in my good discernment. I didn't think Joe Kent was this way. I was wrong about Joe Kent. That's a miss for me.
I didn't even know who he was until this happened, just because I assumed he was going to do his job because Trump gave him the appointment. And that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to do a good job, because I mean, like some people have like lied to Trump and like given him false bona fides to like get a job. But
it's the problem with being like an outside power is that you only attract outsiders or very courageous people who are insiders who are willing to change. But often you're going to get charlatans and grifters. So I don't like Trump making bad appointments. I used to be a little bit more harsh on him for that, but now I kind of realize that he doesn't have a lot of choice, because that's only the pool he's getting. Yeah. Is like probably 80% bullshit artists.
Well, it's also it's like you can't like he has like so many departments that he has to like run and keep tabs on. He can't possibly like vet through like every single person like right down to like the needle. And I mean, it's like I said, all they have to do is just say all the right things and like obfuscate enough of like the bad stuff, and Trump will look at their dossier and be like, seems like a good pick, I'm gonna appoint him.
Well, so there's a point that's all right. This is the point that's gonna get me flamed, I think. Right? Are you done? Are you done with sharing that, or do you want to talk about that more?
No. I went over the broad strokes. I can turn it off.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just want to make sure I wasn't skipping over your topic.
No. I said everything that he said. It's just egotistical and weird.
Yeah, the touchy part of this is that we greatly overestimate the value of valor in this country. And we keep thinking that just because this person's a veteran, a special forces veteran, a medal of whatever winner, that they're all of a sudden, first off, a good person with integrity, and second off, good for politics. And often you kind of want someone with questionable integrity for politics, but not fully questionable, right? Like you need someone who's tricky, but not a trickster. But like for like a Medal of Honor winner or a special forces guy, like the skill set to be in politics is totally different. Second off, as you said, you got to have a massive ego to be in special forces. A lot of like combat veterans who are in the special forces have a huge ego problem, and they're very easy to compromise that way.
Yeah,
Like you see, like how many Navy SEALs have a freaking podcast where they say crazy bullshit?
yeah, exactly. And I would posit that it's something that's fundamentally changed, not just in our country's like military culture, but also in our country's political culture. Because I mean, it used to be a soldier running for president was sure winner. They've got bona fides of like serving their country. You know, you can tell they have a vested interest in seeing it run well. I mean, some of the best presidents were military men. Like you had uh, Ulysses S. Grant was a great president. He was famously the general of the Union Army. Teddy Roosevelt was a great president. You know, he was the hero.
Was Ulysses a great president?
I mean, he did the best he did the best he could with a very difficult situation because unfortunately he was handed a very bad presidency by Andrew Johnson, who was Lincoln's vice president, who
Okay.
was kind of like a closeted Dixiecrat who just kind of like just fucked a bunch of stuff up and like Grant inherited a bunch of problems, but he also enacted a bunch of reforms that were very popular. I mean, he famously like he was the one who was driving the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad, which was a big deal at the time.
Okay. I don't
But
hear a lot about Grant, so I didn't want to let that pass me without questioning it.
yeah, no, I mean, it was in my personal opinion. I thought he was a good president, given the circumstances. But I mean, Theodore Roosevelt, great president, hero of San Juan Hill from the Spanish-American War. I mean,
Right.
Teddy had a bunch of bona fides about why he was good to be president, but I mean, that was like his military ones is kind of like what he ran on. I mean, not FDR, Dwight Eisenhower, you know, very good post-war president, early.
Well,
50s.
these are all leaders, though. They're not soldiers. They're not special forces dudes.
Okay, I mean, that's a good point, but it's just
it's
like
a totally different animal.
Sure, but it's just like the way you used to just be able to kind of like lean on your like military bona fides to like garner like public support. Like that's not really a thing anymore. Like I mean, people will still like they'll still be nice to like rank and file soldiers, but it used to be like if you were a soldier, like the sort of like culture in America was like the you know you had some kind of like special air about you because you made a noble sacrifice of yourself and like with
there was a lot of media there to glorify soldiering, especially in the post World War II era of America, and it really only got tarnished in Vietnam when the soldiers themselves started protesting the war. And I believe that I don't have any evidence for this, but it sounds like communist coercion or communist influence.
Some of it was just kind of like in general just kind of like bad attitude. Like a lot of those guys were like young baby boomers who were just like very entitled, like lived a kind of like very entitled existence for most of their life.
Right.
They had to go fight in a very just like shitty misanthropic war, and so it's like I shouldn't be here. This shouldn't be happening to me. It's just kind of like that attitude. And I don't know if you saw it, but I responded to your tweet last night about you said that it's like one of my dad's best friends was this old guy who he was from Georgia and he got drafted to go, or no, he didn't get drafted. He joined. Like he specifically like and like he was one of the early war guys. He specifically joined up like of his own volition to go to Vietnam for like patriotic reasons. And he was just like a very like Southern good old boy kind of guy and loved his country. And he called him like all the like the whiny veterans who were always protesting. He called them hippie dipsticks. Like that was his affectionate term for those guys. And he said that like he hated those guys because they would constantly try to like get him to like talk about the war and like how bad it was. And he's like, it's war. Is it supposed to not be bad? And like basically he chastised those guys because he thought they were like wussies who couldn't handle actual like military life and like all they did was complain. And like that's something to be said. A lot of guys from the Vietnam generation who weren't like protesters or like had like negative things to say about the war. It was just a time in their life. Like it's just something that they had to do or something they chose to do. And like that was it, and like that was all. Like they don't like a lot of Vietnam vets I've talked to is like he's like I hate watching Vietnam movies because there's always essentially a part where some guy's like drops to his knees and starts crying. He's like, "Why are we here?" It's like we didn't have time for that crap. It's like we were getting shot at from the trees. Like we were there to just do our duty and go home.
Right. Anyways, but to my point though is that the image of the veteran was tarnished from those. Yeah. So. Yeah, the image of the veteran was tarnished, and unfortunately, I think this. All right, there's a reason why. like the black population of America has a really bad reputation when it comes to like law enforcement and with everybody is that they tend to protect their own. It's called didn't do nothings, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So unfortunately, the veterans on Twitter kind of gathered around Joe Kent. Not all the veterans, but it seems like a plurality of them
Well,
gathered around Joe Kent and was like, "He's a hero. He knows what sacrifice means. He served his country. What have you done?" I was like, "Yeah, but he's obviously full of shit, though."
he's disservicing our country now. Like what he's doing now is disservicing our country.
Yeah, it's correct.
And I was gonna say like it goes back to that thing we keep talking about where it's like the internet just kind of like amplifies a lot of these people and it's like it's on purpose. I think it's like a lot of these dissident voices seem to be like they seem to carry more weight than they actually have.
That's the Qatari bots that they are.
Exactly, because like I've got a bunch of friends who are like old GWAT guys, and like they don't like this. They don't like him, and because like they're watching like most of them. I asked them like, what do you think about the Iran thing? And they're like, I think it's awesome. Like he's like they're like I asked one guy, I said, well, I was like, what do you think? He's like, fuck those people. Like he's like, do you know how many, he's like, do you know how many of my friends I had to watch die from IEDs that like Hezbollah planted that they were given from Iran? He's like, fuck those people.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
It's like, okay. And so it's like a lot of veterans I know, like they don't care. Like, I mean, like they either don't care or they actively support it because they don't like Iran because the terrorists that were like shooting at them and killing them were all either from Iran or were getting funded by Iran.
Yeah.
So it's like they want it to happen.
And I suspect a lot of the people that are like veterans on Twitter, I mean, I'm sure they might be veterans, maybe. But it's like, what did you actually do? What was your involvement? Mm-hmm. Like, because if you're in the Air Force, like filing papers, I couldn't give a fuck what you think about anything.
Yeah, I make a joke about like guys like that. It's just like, I'll have you know, I was a brave and proud like AC unit repairman in the Air Force for 15 years. As a guy who like, didn't do anything, trying to be like, he's like, listen, I'm a proud veteran. I love my nation. Here's why you need to accept gun control. He's like, I was a proud vet and I love my nation. Here's why you need to let in a bunch of immigrants. It's like those guys like that. I'm like, dude, like you're a fucking nobody to me. Like,
my contention on this is that unless it was your core MOS or you were affected very personally by something, and it's like very personal to you, like your friend died of an IED. If you're this is mean to say, and I don't mean to sound mean, but it's gonna be a bitter pill to swallow. If you're a veteran, I'm begging you, just wear your uniform, look good, smile, salute the flag, and shut the fuck up about stuff you don't know about.
Yeah,
because when you're
marching like the 4th of July parade and like wave and like if someone says thank you for your service, just like be happy about it. But it's like it's like I don't need to hear you on your soapbox.
Yeah, take your veteran uniform off and take your veteran like tie off and just be a normal person. If you want to say normal person, if you could bullshit with the rest of us, but just don't bullshit it under the username like SEAL vet 82 or something like that. It's like, okay, you're a Navy SEAL. What the fuck does that mean? I don't know. Like, you could tell me about stuff like bodybuilding or something, or endurance or whatever, or shooting, but your knowledge on geopolitics may be very limited to your theater and specific situation that you were in. You know,
that's like a thing with like the Navy SEALs, like the ones who have like podcasts and stuff. Like, I'm not going to say they didn't do anything for the country. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say they're not the ones who were doing like the real like medieval shit for this country. The guys who do that stuff, they're never allowed to talk about it ever. Like, they don't have a paper trail. It's like
what I'm saying is it doesn't matter what they did. I don't care how badass they were or how many people they killed or how much blood they shed. If you don't know what you're talking about, you must be humble and not speak on it under the guise of being a veteran, right? Like, I don't care if Vining came out tomorrow and said, hey guys, the Russian and Ukraine wars or something like that. Like, let's just say he doesn't know that much about it. He's just a normal dude like us. Like, he didn't serve in the Ukraine, didn't serve in Russia necessarily. Maybe he did, I don't know. But like, let's say he didn't, right? Let's say he didn't.
Pretty old now.
Let's say, well, it's also that would have been decades ago. Right, like overtaken by events, right? So it's just what I'm saying is like a lot of veterans are overusing the privilege of their veteran status, and it's tarnishing that status when they're wrong and when they're just dead. Like, I've never been so down on veteran Twitter. If you want to hear the mother of all bad takes, always go to Dale Stark, the A-10 pilot on Twitter. He's just an absolute knee-jerk GWAT veteran where it's like everything is a forever war, everything is a regime change, doom, doom, doom. Oh no, I'm not going to vote for Trump. It's like, fuck off, dude. Go back to your cows or something. It's like, you're an A-10 pilot. You're an A-10 pilot. You never talk about A-10s except to say it was pretty cool. It's like, I don't understand. Like, this is out of your MOS, man. This is so far out of your MOS. It's like, just don't talk about it. Like, I don't talk about any. I don't like. It'd be like if I used my status as an engineer to tell you about stuff that has nothing to do with engineering, or stuff I don't actually engineer. Like if I start talking to you about the Hoover Dam, it's like I don't know shit about concrete.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
I'm an engineer though, so like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is they're tarnishing their reputation. I don't know if a lot of them really appreciate that. So like, I am begging veterans to just be humble and make it count. Stick to what you know. You should feel reluctant to use that veteran status to get the attention of the normal American.
Sure.
I mean, unless the cause is like Toys for Tots or like if it's for charity, go for it. Like I'm saying like enacting political change. Be very careful about that. And Joe Kent was basically just campaigned on I'm a veteran, my wife died. Like he is milking that dead wife corpse like crazy.
And that's something that I saw. It's like in his resignation letters, like he's like, I was a gold star husband. It's like if you say shit like that, I'm inclined to believe that you were not a good husband. Like that's like you're aggrandizing and bragging on yourself.
Right. Like that letter is actually a really good example of exactly what I'm talking about. Is that he is using his veteran status and his service to his country to enact political power. I think there's rules against using your uniform, right? Like maybe there probably are rules actually they're probably not rules for saying, hey, I'm a veteran and I think this. But like maybe there should be.
Like you can't I know what you're talking about because there was that Marine guy who did it and he was in violation. Like the guy who like got into a fight with like a bunch of like.
Yeah, he got his arm broken.
Yeah, he fought a bunch of like bailiffs or something, like wearing his like Marine dress.
He's all about Gaza and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, because his wife is like from like Palestine or something. Yeah. But like yeah, like that guy, like he technically broke the uniform statute because you could go like on TV and wear it and say something, I think, but it's like you can't like break the law while you're wearing it. I don't think you can use it on TV. I don't know if you're. I don't like. I'd have to look into the law, but it's like the fact that he like specifically broke the law while wearing it. Like that's the major violation. Is like you can't.
Yeah. So when I was just in ROTC when I was in college. I was going to join the army or something. I forget. It was a long time ago. But yeah, they had rules for like what you can and cannot wear your uniform for, and it's pretty strict. Pretty much your dress blues are only for formal occasions that are for. I mean, you could go to a wedding in it, I suppose, if you wanted to. I don't think they'd mind that, but like, it's usually for formal military functions, or like, marching in a parade or something like that, right? Like, it's not because you've never seen a politician wearing their dress uniform. Have you ever seen a politician wearing their dress uniform for a political ad? Or a political
like a political ad, but like maybe if they went to like a dinner or something, I think.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's okay. Like, if that's a formal, that's like a gala, a dinner. So what I'm saying is that you're not supposed to use your uniform for political, cachet, because there'd be a ton of Democrats in there doing that. Like, Tammy Duckworth is a pilot, right? She has dress blues. She'd be wearing that shit every fucking day. It'd be so obnoxious. There's a rule against that though, so she doesn't. I was like, I wonder if people should just like if you put the word "I'm a veteran" and then here's a bunch of shit about Gaza in the same letter, you should probably get admonished and then probably threaten to have your like rank knocked down, which would affect your retirement. Because it's powerful, rhetorically powerful, but it's completely abusable. So unfortunately, because the reason why they have that rule is so you don't tarnish the uniform, and I don't want people to tarnish the status of veterancy by saying like, listen, I'm a veteran, I'm a Gold Star husband, and I think that Lay's puts too much air in the chip bags, and we got to do something about it. Like,
okay, well, hold on, that guy might have a point.
Yeah, it's like I was thinking something innocuous, but yeah, it's just like I don't want to. So again, like also people talk about our founders. George Washington was very much against having a military caste. That's another thing I find extremely disturbing about the like military Twitter.
Oh, sure.
Is like we're a proud military, like we're a proud warrior class. I was like, first off, shut the fuck up. We don't have a warrior caste. I'm very adamant against having a warrior class in the United States because I don't want to be ruled by a bunch of veterans. Veterans are great, I guess, I suppose. They're not a jack of all trades. Like, first off, as we have seen with the Marine guy who got his arm broken, and then possibly Joe Kent is like, the pussy does crazy things to veterans.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're so easy to compromise.
I mean, like one of the most like prevalent jokes about Marines is like the second that they like get out of like basic, the first thing they do is like marry a stripper and get a used 2004 Ford Mustang at like 30% APR. So it's yeah, we know that, like, and that's like all like everyone who's ever been in the military knows there's like a cultural perception that they're a bunch of horn dogs because it's a bunch of men who are around other men all the time.
It's also like, can you actually run your life that way? Like, it's not a 1-to-1. Okay, I'm in the military and I can run my life really, really well. A step above that is I can run America really, really well, and that would be what a warrior class would be. So I'm adamant against that because, our warriors are not. They're kind of just like regular people in a lot of ways that we don't want to acknowledge. Yeah, and our military, especially our enlisted groups, like they pull from certain populations in the United States that are not necessarily mapped onto a good managerial class. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a guy who's willing to bleed is not the same guy who's willing to read. A guy who's willing to bleed is not the same guy who can also like run a factory or run his state senate. You know what I mean?
There's not as much abject patriotism as there used to be. I mean, it's still there, but I know that like, with the invention of like post 9/11 GI, like a lot of young people, like it's like, well, I'm just going to do this till I get college. Like it's not like service, it's transaction.
Correct. Well, and back in the day, right? Like back in the day, before we had a standing military, like Spanish-American War, I think was when we started having a standing military. Before we had a standing military, joining the military was pretty risky, and also it would set you back. Like you would probably do better at your farm, right? Like you'd probably it was a sacrifice.
Well, yeah, but it was also like around that time, like it was like considered like the last refuge for like people who had nowhere left to go.
Well, it still is.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I guess it still is, but I mean, well, some people absolutely have places to go, but it's like what I said. It's like, oh, if I join the military, I get a full ride to like going to college. I get a scholarship. Yeah. I get a good home loan. I get a good auto.
Yeah, this is the argument I made on a cast a little while ago. Like one of the first ones that was like it was one Cosmos here, and I was arguing against a warrior class in the United States. And I said, like, a lot of our soldiers are mercenaries by definition, that they're doing it transactionally. Sure. That doesn't mean they're not patriots, but they would not have joined if it wasn't for the perks, which is fine because we don't need I don't really want our soldiers to have to sacrifice for stuff. I think they should get perks. I think they should get more out than they put in, at least as much. I don't want them to sacrifice, right? But with that comes the knowledge that these guys are also doing it for the benefits of it, which is, I'm okay with that. It just means that you're not going to be like this holy angelic class that is above us.
But it's also like my argument, or my addition to that argument is like, yeah, I don't think they should be like taxed unduly with like what they have to endure, but it's like also you have to understand, like, this is not just like something where you just like do some marches and like maintain some machinery and you get to go to college for free. It's, you have to understand that if you join the military, there is a chance you will have to like put your life on the line. Like, you need to understand that that's like the risks are there before you join the army. Like, I saw there was like some Twitter thing from like some guy who was like, he's like, I joined the army to like go to college. Like, I didn't sign up to like die for Israel. I'm like, when you sign up to the military, you sign up knowing that there is
to die for whatever. Yeah,
you might die. Like, it's like, you don't know what for, but it's like,
and you'll die for whatever. Yeah, you'll die for whatever reason. It was funny because I think I said something to the effect of on my Twitter that a soldier's core value is their ability to follow orders. Everything else is in support of that. Mm-hmm. Like, physical fitness is in support of that, so that they're better able to do it. Marksmanship, bravery, all that. Everything about that is to follow orders. When you're in the military, we don't want you to think like, we want you to, and the thing is, your orders are also above your immediate orders are your orders of like, this is the Geneva Convention. These are what war crimes are, sort of, which we may or might not remember in the heat of the moment. But like, your orders do include being legal. So yeah, like you're actually ordered to dissent properly if you're given an improper order, right? Like that's normal. That's built in, but you are still following orders. You are still following orders. You follow every damn order we give you because that's you're in the employ of the United States military. People also who are really good at following orders are. That's why I made the distinction before. People who are really good at following orders are not always good at giving orders, and that's what politicians, that was leaders do. Now, that's why I drew the difference there earlier when you're saying like, oh, soldiery and presidency, you know, those can go really well because all those guys were leaders.
That's a good point. Yeah,
there is though the officer, because I was in I was in ROTC. We were all preparing to be officers. And the way you looked at enlisted men was very different than the way enlisted men look at themselves. You kind of look at enlisted men as like, this guy. Like, first thing you do is you try to make sure nobody because your enlisted guys are basically your dogs. They are your charges. You got to make sure they're not a massive liability, right? So there was training on how to make sure people don't forget their shit. Like their knee pads, they don't lose their equipment and stuff. Like the officers were kind of like partly babysitters for the lower enlisted, and you'd count on your NCOs. So NCOs are officers, right?
Right.
But yeah, your enlisted dudes are kind of I wouldn't say like your lower enlisted dudes are kind of dirtbag privates, is what they're described as.
Well, I think like the perfect show of that dynamic you're talking about is you ever see the miniseries from HBO called Generation Kill about the Marines?
Yeah.
Because like all of those guys, like they run the gamut from like really good, just kind of like enlisted guys who know what they're up to like kind of idiots. And you have the NCO guys who also run the gamut from like really smart and on top of things to like kind of like ignorant and to do what the top says. And then like same with the officer class, like you have the officers who know what they're doing, but like they're in a bad situation from like the generals and whatever, and then you also have like the idiot like officers who don't know what they're doing and they're like glory hounds or whatever.
Yeah, they're career officers. Those are career guys. Yeah, and the thing is, you're going to see as you said there that there's going to be scumbags of all stripes and all types.
Yeah,
like you might get an officer you're going to get a general like General Milley. If he tries to run for president, he wouldn't make a good president, would he?
Man, that'd be bad.
Exactly. Like so, what I'm trying to the point I'm trying to make is that the American people's discernment, there's two paths, right? There's one path I want, and I'll tell you what the path that I want. I want veterans to be more discerning about who they back and what they say in the public sphere so that they can maintain their sort of valor, maintain their image, and be the heroes that we want them to be. The second path is if they start throwing their veterancy around, is going to be that the American people are going to learn what the military is made up of in terms of personnel, and I will disabuse you of any confidence in our military itself is great. The individuals are all over the damn place. If you go to Atlanta, Georgia, and then hang out and like, if you could walk into the MEPS, the medical screening for the enlisted people, go to Atlanta, Georgia, and just look at the people who are going into MEPS, and like half of them look like absolute gangsters.
Yep.
These guys are like they're there for the benefits. They are there for they've got nowhere else to go. This is their last chance at a credentialed like pathway in life.
Yeah.
Right. It's either this or the Walmart, or you'll work at Jiffy Lube. Right. It's like it is what it is. That's what I'm saying. It's like you can have the majesty of our military stay pristine, which is going to involve discipline on the part of the veterans. Now they can't just spout off whatever bullshit they want on social media, which unfortunately I don't see them doing that. Or everyone sees what our veterans actually are, and it's not a good. Like when I was working in intelligence a little bit, it's like we were briefed on all the different intelligence breaches that you'd see, and a lot of it is just absolute horn dog enlisted dudes falling for a Russian honeypot, and it's the dumbest stuff ever. So you'll start to see, like, for me, I see. So when everybody was looking at Joe Kent and they were very confused, like, how could this happen? I was like, listen, let's say the guy had a great marriage. He was a great husband, all that stuff. His wife is dead, or his wife died tragically. And he's lonely. And I was like, oh, this guy's going to get compromised. So he doesn't have the discernment or the bearing. Like the mindset of like, I'm going to execute my orders faithfully and lethally. and efficiently are not the same as I'm going to live a life of quiet and calm, rational discernment
Mhm.
of the really hot chick who's totally into me right now.
Well, if it's
Um,
if like if what I found from that one guy's like to be believed, apparently apparently he already has been apparently his second wife is already some kind of like weirdo like
yeah,
activist
working with the
left
yeah
wing
works.
pro Russia pro Islamic State propagandist. So it's already happened. He's already there.
That's what I'm saying. Is I wasn't surprised.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
exactly.
saying. I wasn't surprised when I saw that.
I
So
mean, was
I guess what I'm saying.
yeah, I'm asterisking that because I don't know if that's actually true, but it definitely seems to track with what we know, so it's probably true.
Yeah. I haven't seen anything to. Usually, if you don't see anything to oppose it, there's not. If there's usually not a second narrative posted by the people that I trust, like you got to build a circle of trust on social media of people who are willing to admit when they're wrong, people who are willing to dig in, people who are willing to give the other side a chance, but also they'll come down hard if they see
Right,
inconsistencies. And I haven't seen a single second narrative to what you've just said, so I'm inclined to think it's true.
right.
Yeah. So people were surprised, like, "Oh my gosh, Joe turned coat," and I was like, "No, that makes sense. It makes perfect sense." And it's indefensible. And also, I know that he probably has the same briefings that I did. That the sentence for this is like life in prison if you leak classified information to an enemy, even if it's through Tucker Carlson.
Yeah,
So if he leaked anything to Tucker Carlson, and Tucker Carlson sent that over to Iran, who
they're
is
both
a
going down.
yeah, they're and especially it's going to be especially Joe Kent because Tucker is just a normal dude,
Mhm.
right? Joe Kent is if he has I imagine he has a clearance, a security clearance. So I know he got the
He would
exact same.
have to. He would have to.
Yeah. So
I
you
would
get
like
life
to.
in. Yeah.
Sorry, go. Yeah, no, finish your thought. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say you get life in prison for that. It's and the thing is they disappear you. There's a ton of people. Usually it's embassy guards.
Sure.
Um, and it could be stuff that's innocuous too. It's like stuff that's nothing. It could be like the color of the carpets inside,
Right.
right? Because you could let's say the color of the carpet of the main diplomat is mauve, right? But the rest of the embassy is green carpet. Well, the thing is, if you tell the Russian Svetlana girl that that fact, well, now she can have another operative go through the vacuum canisters of the janitors and find out where the mauve carpet is. Which vacuum? Okay, now I got to find out just okay which vacuumer uh, goes where. Okay, now I found the mauve carpet vacuum. Where does that vacuum cover? What does that person cover? All of a sudden, now I know the room of the main diplomat,
Exactly.
right? If that wasn't, or like the secret meeting room or something like that, right? Like whatever it is. And which means I can now bug that vacuum. I can now compromise the janitor that does it. And now I can get a bug inside of that room. And that Marine who just said, oh, the meeting room where they went to has a mauve carpet. His ass has just compromised the embassy and he's going to go to prison for the rest of his life.
Right. Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to pivot to something on the side about Joe Kent.
Oh, yeah, sure.
There's also the allegation that he's not doing anything about domestic terror.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Ugh.
I'm inclined to agree because it took a lot of uphill battle to actually get Antifa classified as a terror organization. And that's one of the biggest Groyper's complaints. Like, why hasn't Trump just like gotten rid of Antifa yet? And it's like, well, maybe it's because our counter terrorism guy is too busy crying that Israel is behind every major plot from the beginning of the world to date.
Yeah, yeah.
Going after the domestic terrorists. Like, people are like, why hasn't justice been served for Charlie Kirk? I was like, I don't know. Why don't you ask the counterterrorism guy why he's not going after the obvious like Trantifa terror cell of the guy that killed Charlie Kirk? Why aren't you asking that question? Is Joe Kent your darling because he quit his job that Trump gave him, or is he the guy that's not doing anything about Charlie Kirk? You need to ask yourself that question.
Yeah, that is an interesting question because, like, what has he been doing? Like, he's been getting shut out. He's been leaking stuff, so he might have been helping them. He could even be inadvertently, right? It could have been. It could have been the mauve carpet.
He's not helping, or he's helping them by not doing anything.
That's a good point. Yeah.
If he's not actively aiding them by like not chasing them down like the like the domestic terrorists that they are, then he's helping them. He's helping them by letting them operate with uh, impunity via incompetence. And so it's like yeah, why haven't all of these like Antifa and Trantifa cells been like cracked down on? Who's in charge of that? Is it him? If it is him, why isn't he doing it?
There's a couple of different things about American culture that actually makes us peak, but people think it's bad, right? A couple of things about American culture that people around the world will look at and be like, that's terrible. But actually, it's really good. One of them is that we don't do credentialism in America, especially the right. Like Fauci was a really good example. He was a great litmus test for a lot of people. Here he is, this big official scientist man, but half of America just doesn't believe his ass, and then that number gets bigger and bigger as time goes by, right? The fact that Joe Kent is a Special Forces Green Beret or whatever, that is a credential. That is a credential. That's a job that he held. It is a credential. It is a status, a title, all that stuff. All right. Second thing that America has that seems really bad at first, but you start to realize that it's really smart, is that we have an attitude of "What have you done for me lately?" And that both of those things, like anti-credentialism and "What have you done for me lately," are both meritocratic measures.
Yeah.
Like Yep. So our meritocracy, that's what I'm saying, is like this whole like veteran thing, like venerating the veterans. It's great. It sounds great. Unfortunately, it is credentialism, and it lets guys like Joe Kent get away with more than he should, and it hurts our country. So it's going to have to go, or the veterans are going to be more discerning. I'd rather the veterans just be more discerning and be more careful with the trust that's been given to them. Sure. Yeah, like what has Joe Kent done for us lately? And the answer is nothing. Like I haven't seen him. At least like I see Kash Patel reporting that we've been going after child predators. Like was it like 300% increase in arrests of child predators?
Yeah.
And they're not hard to find. I mean, Chris Hansen was able to find a bunch of them.
Well, it's like we've had like a bunch of terror attacks in the last couple of months anyway.
Yeah.
Like, not all of it's like Islamic terror. Some of it's just like, Antifa or Trantifa terror that's been doing is like, and like that's the whole thing is it's always like that's the big joke about like the FBI and like the counterterrorism people. It's always like, well, the shooter was on our radar, but we didn't.
On our radar, yeah,
exactly.
It's FBI's line.
It's just like if all of these people are allegedly on the radar, why wasn't Joe Kent like taking these pieces off the board before they killed somebody?
Right. I would love to see a press conference. Maybe he had one and I missed it, but I feel like if he had a press conference where it's like, hey, we nabbed these Antifa people, he would have had the front pages of Twitter for a while, like a couple of days. And I just haven't seen it. So it's the dog that isn't barking. So I unfortunately, he's done a lot of damage to the reputation of veterans, unfortunately. And he's done a lot of damage to the reputation of the Trump administration. And this whole Israel pivot he's doing, it seems like a desperate ploy to get allies or get funding to cover for his failures, his career failures in MAGA. And that's just sad.
It's easy. It's just like it's like the cheese that attracts all the rats. It's like, all you have to do is do a little bit of juice spurging, and all of a sudden like you're the darling of the Groypers. Like that's all it takes. Yeah,
exactly. It's so predictable. It's like it's the new NPC. It's an NPC position. Yeah. Like there's so little integrity. I was expecting more from him, and I liked his background. He had a good look to him. He seemed young. He seemed passionate, but I was wrong. Yeah, I was totally wrong. And maybe though he really meant it, and he's just bad at his job, and he's trying to desperately cover.
Well, I forget. I'm not super up with his background, but was Hegzeth, was he a Green Beret or was he just a regular army soldier?
I think he was just a regular dude.
Okay,
regular soldier.
I was about to say, like, you would think that, like, kind of like hand in hand, our like Secretary of War and like our Secretary of Counterterrorism, like you think that like those guys would be like hand in hand, like always collaborating, bro.
Right.
But I guess there wasn't a lot of camaraderie between like the the colors between them. But
yeah, that's the thing is like if you're in the military, I think the only position that you can have that's great for politics that maps to politics is if you're a general, because you are a politician as a general.
Yes.
You're there to secure funding. You're there to secure the blessings of Congress. You're working with think tanks. You're working because generals work on influence and logistics. So they're kind of an applied politician. But other military careers, I don't know if they really map onto it. And like measuring blood sacrifice. Oh, let me tell you something. There are some soldiers that just join up just because they want to get some blood. Like they just want to shoot. They just want to shoot people. People are called Appalachians. Or me. I enlisted in the Marine Corps because I wanted to kill Dodgies. That's one of the reasons why I didn't get in. I think because I had childhood asthma. But it was like I think they just used that as an excuse because I was like, I thought that's what we were here for. It was like, apparently this is the woke military like of Obama's era. So it's like they didn't like that answer. I was like, all right, fine, fuck it. I'm here to, I don't know, fight for diversity or some shit. I guess I should have said that.
Yeah, it's a lot of the older upper bound GWAT veteran guys that I'm friends with. Like all of those guys were very unabashed. It's like, yeah, I hated 9/11. I was pissed off as hell, and I joined.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, hell yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's why my older brother, he joined the army because he had like a lot of just like problems, like personally, like with my old man, and so he kind of just like, yeah, he like my old man like pushed him to join to like straighten himself out and like unfuck himself.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Also, like he didn't have to do a lot of convincing because my older brother was like, it's like he's a little bit older than you, I think. But it's like that's like a thing that a lot of people say is like he's like I remember 9/11. I was like 4 when 9/11 happened, so like I remember that it happened, but like I didn't really process like what it was. My older brother was old enough to like know what was happening and process it, and it left like a permanent like kind of like black mark on his mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Like fuck these people. I want them to like repay what they did to us.
Yeah, we're all Toby Keith nationalists.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is annoying for the generation. I hate the generational label because it's really broad. Because when you think of millennials, you're thinking like expensive burgers that are called handhelds at a restaurant that's too expensive, or it's like their menu starts with
this is my deconstructed smash burger on a bed of arugula and like that kind of shit.
Yeah. It's like it all started with a crazy idea. It was like sort of in restaurants, like fuck off.
Yeah,
but like
just a bunch of crazy kids in a dream.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was like, no, like millennials also include Generation Kill, 100%.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's like we were pretty bloodthirsty. Also, millennial to go to fashion. I have a theory about millennial gray, the housing interior.
Oh, that yeah.
All right, here's my theory. You ever heard my theory before?
No, I don't think so.
It's just women buying houses.
Yeah.
No dude goes into a house and's like, I'm gonna make this millennial gray. If dudes were decorating houses, it would be wood paneling.
Yeah,
and it was like
my apartment has like the most like esoteric like decorating pattern and like,
the
whole thing like women like men just don't know how to decorate. It's like no, we do. It's just like you just don't like what we do because like we have a lot more imagination with what we do than you do.
I want a cow pelt on the wall. Okay, I want one of those big. I want a cow pelt on the wall. I saw this awesome.
I have a cow skull, like a
Here we go. Yeah,
like mounted on the wall. But,
I saw the coolest thing. It was a raccoon with a raccoon on the wall, and it had a trucker hat, a cigarette in its mouth, a beer in one hand, and it was flipping you off with the other hand. And I was like, that's so awesome.
The funny taxidermies, yeah.
Yeah, those are great.
I've always wanted a jackalope taxidermy. I've always wanted one of those.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, so like, and men do decorate. Like when men decorate, it actually gets a little out of control because when we put our mind to something, it gets nuts. Like so.
That theory actually tracks perfectly because like women, it's always just like I need to make this space completely sterile so it will always match with my stuff.
Whereas, right, exactly.
Men don't care. It's like I'm gonna put my stuff up regardless. I don't care if the wall.
Men's houses is like a trophy room all throughout. Like for me, when I was younger, oh shoot, the bats are out. It's awesome. I love the bats. Mm-hmm. I'm filming outside and it looks pretty bright in the camera. But like around here, it's starting to get dark, and the bats come out right this time. So I got to build a bunch of bat houses on the property. It should be fucking awesome.
Oh, that's really cool.
I love the bats. I don't know how they fly because they're just like working their ass off. They're like they're just never stop flapping. I was like, good lord, where do you guys get the calories for this, man?
Yeah, well,
It's crazy.
it's like their weird leathery wings. Like just like keep pluming air with every like flap.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
nuts. Yeah,
I
really that one.
when I was a kid, we lived in Austin, and that was Austin before it like got enshittified by the fucking Gen
Yeah,
X,
yeah,
yeah, Gen X yuppies and California
yeah.
transplants. But the Austin's famous for like the bats that live under the bridge.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. The South Austin Bridge has a bunch of Mexican free-tailed bats that live under it, and like every day at sundown. Well, I say every day. Unfortunately the bats numbers have greatly diminished. Unfortunately, because
Aw.
yeah, they the great freeze from like 3 years ago.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Yeah,
Unfortunately, that killed a lot of them. So I mean, they're still there,
yeah.
but like when I was a kid, it was like a huge flock of bats. Like it would like block out like the sky a little bit,
That's cool.
or maybe
Yeah,
just
the
that way because I was like a kid. But
yeah, maybe the back to the decoration stuff. Like for me, my place when I was younger was I would mount on the wall every major event or accomplishment. So if I had like my first circuit board I ever designed, I like it was a huge board because I had it panelized. So it's got a whole bunch of the circuit boards on one panel. Because that's how they manufacture it. They manufacture them in batches like that. But before they singulate them, it's all in one giant panel. And I thought that was super cool. It had gold. It was a perfect circuit board. Nothing about it. I was like, oh man, I wish I had changed that, or I made a mistake. I was so proud of it, and I put it on my wall as a decoration. And you know what? When women would go, and I had rocketry parts that I'd got from White Sands in Mexico. I like on little shelves. Like this is an igniter for a White Sands rocket, like a and I had this plate, and it was basically a museum. That's you know what? That's what men's houses tend to be. Is they tend to be museums of
sure,
their life.
yeah,
Like, oh, I got this when I was in Boca Raton. I got that when I was in Africa. I got this while I was in Thailand. Oh, I won this one at a putt-putt golf tournament. Sort of stuff. So it's like this museum of me. And yeah, I'll tell you something. Women fucking love that.
yeah. I mean,
So men, when you
I've got a bunch of like heritage paintings from like family members who like picked up
there
painting.
you
Like
go.
I've got a bunch of their paintings. I've got a bunch of like
It's
stuff.
badass.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff I picked up. I've got like some war relics from like my ancestors who were in the
Oh, that's
military.
cool.
I
That's
got
super cool.
I got I have a hockey stick that's like mounted. It's like I have like a goalie's hockey stick mounted on my wall that was signed by the complete starting lineup of Austin's minor league hockey team from like the year I was born.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I got like fucking neon beer signs. I got all kinds of crazy shit that I've just like picked up over the years. I've got this like Japanese like advert for like jeans that I picked up from a like a antique shop when I was in Japan. It's
Mm.
like this it's like a Japanese ad for like Japanese jeans that's like printed on like this big bolt of like denim.
Oh, nice. So the ad was on denim.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
cool.
Yeah,
That's super cool.
exactly. But yeah, it's just like wacky stuff like that. It's just like men just like pick up like stuff that they like, and yeah, like it's just like that's just how it is. Like men don't really like care about like what's in vogue or what's in fashion according to some
Yeah.
magazine. Like we know what looks good and we know what we like.
Yeah, we're doing our own thing. Yeah, exactly. Which is why like fashion back in the day used to be so uh individual and esoteric, whereas ladies tend to just gather onto the trends.
Yeah,
You wouldn't believe how many fucking twine balls are just like on a console in a hallway, or
yeah.
some nonsense bullshit they picked up at Hobby Lobby. It's like
I was thinking about that the other day. I hate like, looking at like younger Gen Z. I hate their sense of fashion because they're just trying to like pick up on that like shit from the 90s where it's like everything has to be as baggy as possible. You can't possibly wear clothes that fit. Everything has to be way too baggy. It's like you can't wear a pair of pants that fit. I'm not saying you got to wear like skinny jeans, but it's like you can't wear a pair of jeans that fit. They've got to be like super like duper baggy jeans. You got to wear like a massive oversized hoodie. You can't just wear a hoodie that fits. It's like it's so stupid. It's like I hate it.
well, especially if you're down south, like where you are, it's
Yeah,
not cold. Up in Michigan, that makes more sense, but like down south, it's like, yeah, we're yeah, exactly. I hate it. I don't know. I'm kind of off on like American women in general. Um, personal news for anybody who's watching, me and my wife we're calling it quits on the marriage. It wasn't my idea. I didn't want to. I'm very dedicated to marriage, but my wife is doing this whole I'm not happy, and I was like, all right, fine. You want to take a buyout? The business. It's like having a business together. It's like if it's down to that. If it's like you just want to be happy, that's your objective. I was like, well, then go be happy whatever. Like for me, I don't want to make the marriage work, but she's more or less released me, and now I'm free, or I will be free, I think. And I hope that she's happy. I hope she finds her happiness. But it's like when it comes to a marriage, you kind of want someone who's dedicated, and it's like you have a loyalty to the marriage itself
Sure.
outside of things. That's why it's a marriage is a oath to God. It's not an oath to each other. It's an oath to God. So I'm probably going to be. I told my dad about it, and he's like already trying to find me women back from all the old country. And I used to be very against that when I was younger, but now I'm like, maybe that's the right way to go. I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, let it ride, man. But it's like that. It's like that Ben Franklin quote about like sacrificing like freedom for security. It's just like, well, you sacrificed marriage for happiness, and now you will have neither.
Well, yeah, that's what I think. That's what I think too. It was like because her payout is not that much. Like I don't have a whole lot of equity, so there's not a lot that she's going to be getting. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, to me, it's not a lot, right? It's like it is six figures. It's quite a bit, I guess. It's a life changing amount of money, but it's not a life making amount of money.
Sure.
So it's like if that's what you wanted, I would have worked stuff out. I would have built her like a little house back here if she wanted just space and do her own thing. That's kind of what the last 6 months of the marriage were. Is like I was giving her a space and letting her do her own thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. So, but she still wasn't
forming your own squares of the homestead, more or less.
Well, yeah. I was willing to sacrifice and do all that, but it's like, all right, if you want to cut loose, at some point, it's not a marriage anymore, and it's like spiritually, it's already dead, even if it's not dead in law. So I was kind of like, all right, let's make the law match. She's also not a Christian. She's not like a baptized Christian. So the rules on this are very different. And that's what I was saying in the pre-show. I was like, I didn't know about the rules. What's that? It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. What are the rules?
Right. Exactly.
Apparently, there's actually explicit rules of like, yeah, if they're a non-believer, you can leave. And they leave you. You can remarry. It's not a problem. I was like, oh shit, okay.
The Catholic Church is like it's pretty like there are a bunch of like stipulations as to when it's like allowed and when it's not.
Yeah.
And
I heard.
I think you can. I think in that situation, like you could technically claim a dispensation since she wasn't like a Christian, but I think that's more. I would need to read the rules myself. I mean, I've never been married, so I don't.
Well,
really
I'm not a Catholic.
No,
yeah,
I know. But it's just like for my own personal reference, it's like I've never read the rules.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
I've never been married before, so I don't know.
Correct. No, it's pretty explicit. It's pretty explicit. There's rules with non-believers because the non-believer might just leave you for whatever reason, and so why would you like if they're not under Christian direction? Why would they be under Christian protection?
Exactly.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not. Yeah. So even though she was professing to be a Christian, she never got baptized. She never joined a church. In other words, she didn't do any Christian things. She just said she was a Christian and then would quote the Bible sometimes.
Well, then that sounds to me like if you were Catholic, it sounds to me like you could get a dispensation because she was lying to you. Like she was lying to you about your faith.
Yeah. She was.
Therefore, your union wouldn't have been legitimate.
Yeah, the intent of getting baptized because I was like, you should get baptized. You should get baptized. Like as soon as I found out she wasn't, I was like, holy shit, you need to get baptized.
Yeah,
but she just never did it.
I will step away for 1 second. I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, you got it. I'll vamp. No man, appreciate it. Man, you vamped for like 15 minutes while I lifted a fucking sheep over there. I wish everybody could see it because I was just manhandling the sheep. It was like a drunken dude. It was funny because he wasn't even like fighting it. The sheep wasn't even fighting it. I think he remembers from when he was a lamb. I had to do the same thing when he was a slightly smaller sheep. I would have to like lift his ass and move. So he just completely at peace with me moving him. He was mildly inconvenienced. He really likes the grass that's out here in the front lawn. I need to mow it, or you know what? I should just spray it with capsicum. I think sheep can taste spiciness, right? Like, so if I make my grass spicy, he won't want to come over here anymore. Yeah, but I got to redo the fences on this farm. With the divorce coming though, it's like I got to watch my finances or justify it, like write it down, keep the receipts, that sort of thing. But I think the courts in Tennessee are probably going to let me put up a new fence. It's not that much money. It's like $300 to $600 to do it. So I'm sure husbands have bought crazier shit when they get a notice of divorce. I think I'll be all right. Yeah. The thing was like for my divorce, I felt bad for like 2 days, but once I sat and meditated on it, I fasted for 3 days first off. because when you're thinking about this sort of thing, you got to make sure you're not full of shit. And the best way to make sure you're not full of shit is that if you don't ever have to shit, if you have fast for a while. So I fasted for like 3 days. And at the end of it, I was like, listen, I did everything I could. I did everything I was supposed to. I didn't even raise my voice, didn't raise my hands, didn't do anything. I would buy her flowers. I would do all this stuff. I would say good morning. I would ask her how she's feeling, that sort of stuff. I was checking in on her. We'd go to a meal once a week, just hang out with each other, spend time. And it's like, if you weren't happy, I wasn't aware, and I did my best to make myself open. So, once I realized that I've done my duty and it wasn't a failure on my part, I actually now it's just a thing that I'm going through. It's like a business deal falling through, to be honest. Or like I'm being sued. It's the same sort of thing. There's a couple of things in the a divorce that need to be ironed out, but that's just part of the process. So it's just part of the process. I'm not mad at her or anything either, because it's like, listen, you don't get to choose how you feel. You do get to choose how to respond to it. And I think on the whole, she's being foolish, but she doesn't want to hear any of my feedback. Obviously, like she's gone no contact, which is what you should do, I guess, when you're go through a divorce. But like, that's she's her own person now, so I'm kind of, not to sound mean about it, but it feels like a burden in my life has been lifted, and I'm still young enough. I'm in my like mid to late 30s. I'm like 37. I am old enough to restart and actually have children, have a family, and do it for me, right? So if I was to give advice to a young person, never view your marriage. Your marriage is actually one of the few selfish things you do in your life, that you should do in your life. It's selfish because it should be good for you. Marriage is not a charity. Marriage is not a charity. You're not there to uplift the other person, right? Now, you will be uplifted by that person, and they will uplift you. But the goal of this is to have the life that you prayed for, envisioned for yourself. Marriage is one of the happy duties in life. You got to make sure it's working for you. There's a lot of red flags, like she didn't want to take my last name. Okay, that's a bad one. She didn't want to get baptized. I didn't know about that at the time. I should have asked. I just assumed because she was so Christian sounding. And she didn't want to pursue American citizenship because she's a green card holder. Those are some red flags I probably should have listened to, but I was being very charitable, and I realized I probably shouldn't have been. If I do get married again, I probably will. Just the way I feel. I just feel like I will, I will do so for reasons of furthering things that I want to further about my life. Like, it's going to be about what do I think is going to bring glory to this family and glory to heaven, glory to God. Not so much I'm here to take care of a person. Because honestly, like, people can take care of themselves. That's the whole reason women can get divorced now, is they can take care of themselves. It's like, so yeah, the roles have changed. It used to be this romantic notion of, I'm going to swoop in and save this girl. I can fix her, kind of thing. Because that's the way it used to be. It used to be that women are much more dependent, but they're no longer that dependent on men. They're not dependent on men at all. Maybe that'll change with AI taking all their jobs. Who knows? But like, they're not dependent on men anymore. So you don't have to feel like you have to take care of them. Now, if they're going to be the mother of your children, okay, that's a different story, right? So for me and my wife, we didn't have any kids, which is another reason why I'm not feeling terrible about this. Like, no one is suffering in this except for me and her. The only thing I really like is a debrief. I'd love an exit interview, maybe like in a month from now or 6 months from now, where I ask her, like, okay, listen, what do you think I should improve? How can I be a better husband? Right? Like, what can I do differently? Not for you, but just in general for myself. But we'll see. I'm not a perfect person, and even if it's like a really awkward conversation, I would like to have some pointers on improvement so I can improve myself in in husbandry, I suppose. So that's my personal update. No, you're good. I actually just wrapped up. That's my thoughts on marriage and divorce and all that stuff. It's not good. I didn't initiate it. It wasn't my idea. I would give it a chance if she really wanted to give it a chance. However, the only way I'd give it a chance now is if she came here and I was her conservator. Like, okay, you want to be married under me now. Obviously, we can't trust your judgment anymore because you left, and now you want to come back. If she wants to come back, right? Well, because
Right.
what I'm saying is like in the hypothetical situation that she wants to come back, I'd be like, no, I'm gonna be much more controlling because obviously giving you freedom has been a bad idea. But honestly, I wouldn't give her a second chance if she wanted to make it. Well, I mean, you never say never, but right now I'm seeing the stack of it is so high, right? To the amends. Because it'd be like first off, you're gonna get baptized. Second off, we're gonna go to church whether you want to or not. I'm gonna read you the Bible whether you want to or not. We're gonna pray together. That's another thing I actually offered her. I was like, hey, would you like to have a daily prayer together? And she was like, not really. I was like, what?
Well, I mean, at that point, it's just not even like what's even the point? That's
Yeah.
kind of how I felt about my last like actual serious relationship that like lasted like a long time. When that fell apart, it was like living with a child basically, and it was just like I had that thought. It's like because she did try to come back like once like in the immediate aftermath, and I
Oh
basically
yeah.
and I was like, if I do this, I'm going to set some ground rules, and I basically was like thinking it up in my head. I'm like, this isn't like having a wife. This is like having a child. That's
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
like at this point. It's just not worth it. There's not. It's just not
Your
going to.
job as a husband is not to take care of your wife. Like this whole trad shit. I was like, no, you are partners in different areas. Like you are, and also women do work, and they did traditionally work. It's like we are here to pick up the slack wherever it needs to be, right? Like so, um, yeah, husbands can take out the trash when the wife asks, sure, and women can get a job if we want more money, right? Same. So it's like, in other words, you're working together, doing the best you can.
Right.
It's not like I take care of you. That's a 100% 0% relationship. You don't want a subordinate, right? That a wife like that is like a child that just doesn't move out.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I told my dad about it, and he's like already got the designs on it of where to get a new wife from the old country, and he described this location in Indonesia, and I was like, oh no, not Indonesian women. I don't know, they don't. And then he was like, no, look at this. And he showed me pictures of the girls in that region. I was like, good lord, what happened? There's like some sort of beauty bomb exploded there.
All
Like
right.
these are better.
You have my attention.
Yeah, I was like, these girls look better than Japanese girls. Honestly, they're kind of like Japanese mixed with Latinas. I was like, all right, now you have my interest. Um, and they're very Christian. Like Indonesia is a hyper Muslim nation, but this is an area where the Christians are actually the majority. They know English. It's a former Dutch colony is the reason. So other and my dad's going to go talk to pastors in that area, and I guess it's pretty common. So I'm actually thinking that's probably better prospects than I would get in America. Now I'm still going to like, once stuff is finalized and once it's appropriate to do so, I will like date around a little bit. But I'm not. I don't know. It's just such an uncommon thing to have because my marital standards are so different than most people's. Is that I see marriage as a duty, not like a theme park. Like you have a duty. Like we're both working. Like the boss is God, and we're both working for God. Like we don't work for each other, and I don't work for you, and you don't work for me, right? Like the reason, like the whole thing of submit is mostly just because the guy's judgment, financial security, and that sort of judgment is like Bill Gates is going to submit to his security guard and to his detail, and he's going to submit to his stockbroker, 100%. Like I'm no different. I am the security guard and stockbroker of the house. I'm the financial analyst. So it's like submitting to me is mostly just like if I tell you not to buy that $5,000 dress, then don't. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
that's it. That's all it is. Like it's not like you have to. If I tell you to do something, it's because it's an emergency. It's like unless your husband's a tyrant, then submitting to him is no big deal, right?
Right.
Well, then why would you marry a tyrant though? So it's like, do you think I'm a tyrant? So in other words, it's a bit of a red flag when a woman says she doesn't want to submit to her husband. You can change the word if you don't like the word submit. You can just say deferential. My wife is deferential. She defers to me. Same thing. Same thing. It's like if she's not willing to submit, then she's not really a wife, in my opinion. She's a roommate, a partner, a child.
Well, see, like you use the word partner negatively. It's like it is a partnership. Like you're in this together. And it's like, yeah, it's like I think you're right. Like there should be like some kind of like deference and
When I like partner, I mean like business partner,
Oh yeah, yeah.
like where you both have equal and similar powers.
Mhm.
Like a marriage, I think is more like there's a CEO and then there's like a COO. Like CEO is Chief Executive Officer,
Mhm.
right? He's there to execute. The COO is the similar rank, but he's there for Chief Operations Officer. So he's running the operations. That's the relationship I see. And those two are not partners. They're working for the same boss.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That's my niggling. I understand what you're saying, and I do agree. I'm just giving the distinction there that
But
there is yeah.
it requires effort. It's a mission. It's being married is like it's like a mission from God in a way because it's one of the sacraments that you're
Yeah.
ostensibly if your life is in proportion and in order like marriage is one of the sacraments that you will partake of. Now
Yeah.
that being said, like it's like you have to be equally yoked in wanting to do that mission together. And if you're not, then there's no point.
Exactly. That's why I'm not providing any resistance for her wanting to leave. I'm like, if you're looking for me to convince you to stay, it's not going to happen. It's like obviously you don't want to be part of this. Then I would encourage like, hey, did you pray over this? You know, which in case if you prayed over it, I'm like, I don't know how you get the negative. Like, I think if you prayed over it and you're really listening, you're going to hear to try and make it work. But
Well,
if someone's, in other words, yeah,
it's like that one joke from King of the Hill where like Peggy gets like Hank to like do something by calling in a fake propane emergency. And he's like, Peggy, I can't believe you called me in over a fake propane emergency. He's like, I know it was wrong, Hank. I prayed over it, and God said, Peggy, don't do it. But I knew better.
but yeah, exactly. There we go. Yeah, exactly. Well, the problem is like women are also pretty easily tempted because they have so many more social obligations than men do. Like in social obligations, as in I don't even know obligations, social compulsions. Like men have obligations too socially, but we're not compelled to do it. Like we are still in control of our obligations. Like if I'm on the PTA, right? Like I have obligations in the PTA, but I'm not being compelled. I don't feel like I have to be there, right? I feel like I should be there, or maybe I feel it, and then it's like, but I get to choose. A compulsion is not your choice. So unfortunately, these ladies will see, oh, everyone's wearing UGG boots. Time for UGG boots. Oh, I need more knickknacks in my house from Hobby Lobby. All right, more knickknacks. Or baggy clothes are in. Let's all wear baggy clothes. So it's really easy. You'll see that these you'll see this with divorces too. Is that one friend gets a divorce and then it's like it starts catching on.
Well,
It's like
it's also like it'll catch on because the one who gets divorced will eventually the sheen like the luster and the sheen will wear off and they'll realize they're miserable and so they'll just like convince the friends to like do it too so they can like it's crabs in a bucket they like they
yeah. And my wife has a friend, and I probably should have tried to dissuade my wife from having like a friend like this, but she has a friend from high school who is having a miserable life, and a friend with a miserable life, like your wife having a friend who has a miserable life, is a bit of a red flag, and it's a bit of a danger because that friend will try to like grab someone, like you said, to join them in their misery, and that's what I think probably happened. Which in that case, I'm like, I thought you were better than this. I'm not gonna like fight. Like I'm not gonna try and convince you to stay. And honestly, like the way I the way I look and the way I live my life and the way I earn and my personality is I'm not going to have problems
Mhm.
at all. I'm very reluctant though to ever date another introvert. It's just so much fucking work. Like as an extrovert,
No it is
because it's like you live two different lives and you're always like doing the
well
social work
and
for the other person.
that was part of it like when things got towards the end of that relationship I was telling you about it's
Yeah,
exactly
yeah,
what you said. I'm an extrovert, she was an introvert. We moved to the city because I thought it was going to be a big fun adventure for us to go on together.
yeah,
um,
yeah,
and she just never wanted to go out and do stuff. It's like I want to go out and do stuff. Like
yeah.
we live in a like not only do we live in like a city that's actually like pretty good in terms of like not being like a crime-ridden shithole, but like there's actually like in Fort Worth, there's actually a bunch of like really fun stuff to go do. And
Here's it.
she never wanted to go out and do stuff. And I found myself like after a certain point where I was getting miserable, it'd be like I'd get off from the office. And instead of going home to see her, I'd go to the bar and I would just like have some
It's
like
never a good sign.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would have some beers at the bar, and she'd be like, "Are you coming home soon?" I'm like, "I'm working late. I'll be there in a bit."
Oh, you got it. Yeah, if you feel like you have to lie, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like I'm like,
Yeah.
I know that when I get there, she's just going to complain about something, or she's going to have something that some weird political argument she wants to get into, and I'm just like, I'm gonna have
Oh,
one
that's
more beer.
funny.
I'm gonna have like one more beer, and I'll go deal with it.
Was she like a typical like femlib?
She was, but she was pretty soft about it.
They always start out soft, and unless you provide positive bias, they always get worse.
Now here's the thing. So what it was is when we first started dating, it was kind of like it was like a fun thing we would do because like I'm not like that. I'm not nearly back then. I'm not nearly as right leaning. I was still pretty right leaning, but not nearly as much as I am now. I mean,
yeah.
The post COVID years, like they pushed.
Oh yeah.
But it's like at the time, this was before COVID, so it's like I was still pretty right wing, but I was a little bit, not as much so, and she was a little left wing, but not as much so, and it was like we would do it, and we would have constructive arguments over like thought, and it was kind of like sharpening. It was like sharpening our claws.
Yeah, which is to say, by the way, I'm a very literal biblical guy sometimes. Not literal as in like So there's two types of literal Bible guys. Okay. There's those who are reasonable and those who like take everyone who don't understand what parables and metaphors and figurative language are. The people who don't understand the true deeper meanings of things will like miss the point of the Songs of Solomon. Like they just won't get it. They'll be like, what? Yeah, right. Like a lot of this stuff is not literal in the Bible. However, I do take it word for word. And when I say like iron sharpens iron, that is a man thing because women have a phobia of argumentation because argumentation to them genetically, like because we have a different genetic path, men and women. Mm-hmm. Argumentation for women, it leads to ostracism. So no matter how safe they feel, they will feel a little bit uncomfortable and they'll start to grow apart. Whereas dudes, when they argue, it is iron sharpening iron. They get better. Like we actually bond over giving each other shit, right? Like men will have an argument at like outside on the deck near the barbecue. They'll have an argument with a friend, and the two wives of the friends will be like, "Oh my god, are you not be able to see each other anymore?" It's like, "No, I'll be there next Friday."
Now we're done.
So what? Yeah, like you guys had a big fight. Like you actually threw a beer bottle, like not a beer bottle. You threw a beer can. Beer bottle's too far. Beer can is funny as long as it's empty. Empty beer cans are okay.
But you guys were throwing stuff. Yeah, we're done. No, we got it out. We're done.
Yeah, it was fun. Also, it was kind of fun sometimes.
But anyway, but like for a while, that's how it was. It was us through those kind of like pithy discussions. Like we were learning. Like we were getting the lay of the land. But then COVID happened, and we weren't living together when COVID happened, and so she was sequestered where she was living. I was sequestered where I was living, and like
oh man, that's terrible.
Yeah, it was really bad. Like we would like try to talk on the phone, but it's like she got in a fucking TikTok like doom spiral where she was just like
social media.
Yeah, she was just like frying her brain just watching TikTok, all these political TikToks.
Yep, she's feeling compelled. She's feeling compelled, as I was saying. Yeah.
So she just became like a fucking like radical like leftist about like all this shit that I don't care about. And I was like, listen, you gotta understand, I just graduated college. I got a job. I got like a real career job now. Like
yeah.
I don't fucking care. Like I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I don't fucking care. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like she would look for like an argument. Like it was just like I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. It's like I've got so much more important shit I gotta we were living like pretty like we weren't like paycheck to paycheck, but we were pretty close to. She wasn't working and I was, and I'm like, this is not.
Oh shit! So were you supporting her at this time?
Well, okay. So the thing was, like, I was a little bit older than her, so I was done with college and I was working.
Oh, I see.
She was finishing. Yeah, she was like finishing like her last year of college, and she was she's like, I've got this job lined up for when I graduate. And I was like, okay, great, awesome. And then like it didn't happen. Like I don't know exactly why, but like it just didn't happen. I was like, you got to get a job. And she's like, well, but like that job. I was like, that job's not happening. You got to get a job. And
exactly.
It's like she wouldn't even get like a part-time job to where it's like I had to like pick up the phone and just like call some shops near the apartment. It's like, you guys hiring right now? And they were like, yeah. I was like, go there tomorrow and say you need a job. And like
that's funny.
It was a whole thing.
All right. So here's it.
It was a whole thing.
At minute mark 158, or 159, close enough. And by the way, I'm going to do clips of these at some point because I'm trying to get better at wrangling the conversations in. As you see, I've done that a couple of times to like make it so that there's ability to do clips later on. But introverts are fucking miserable, and I'm tired of them. I'm tired of pretending that introverts are some secret special gems that like, no, you guys just suck at social, like doing the social labor, right? Even like, because notice something that like people on every introvert you hear from is either got themselves an extrovert and they made it work, or is fucking miserable. It's like, oh, being an introvert, oh, this is what it's all, I'm an introvert, 10 minutes till the party starts. Oh, I'm just going to stay home. Or I'm an introvert. There's a cute person. They smiled at me. I didn't smile back and I just left. Oh, I'm forever alone. It's like, yeah, you're damn right. You're forever alone. You miserable shit. Like, I got to do stuff. Like, as an extrovert, I have to work alone and do stuff alone too. It's not my comfort zone. And I just deal with it. Like, socializing is a skill. Like having the courage to overcome your nature is part of growing up. Right. So don't be a product of your nature. Fucking do the work to make your life work, or else you're miserable.
The other thing about like introverts is like they say like, oh, so socializing is hard. It's like no, it's not.
No,
every introvert who says they're like is very vocal about how introverted they are. It's like if you get them like a good group of people that they know, they're just as conversational and like interactive as any extrovert. But it's just like you don't want to put in the hard steps to like get to know somebody to where you can make that friend.
Well, the thing is, a lot of introverts just don't give a shit about people, because if they cared about people, they would go and talk to them, and then they would make a friend. That's how introverts make friends with other people. Sometimes other introverts. Like, there's an introverted dude at the coffee shop, and I noticed he was painting a Gundam, and now every time I go in there, he has someone to talk to, because I will sit there and talk about Gundams with him. I don't know or care about Gundams at all. I just think it's nice.
Gundams is badass. Like it's like, you just just start it off like that. Like that's all you gotta do is like I had a fucking like 45. Like I talked out almost the entire duration of a plane ride from El Paso back to Fort Worth with a guy, because the guy sitting next to me, I saw he was watching like a Gundam anime on his phone. I was like, hey bro, like what Gundam, like what Gundam show is that? He's like, oh,
yeah,
it's this one, and I was like, dude, that's pretty sick. I love Gundam. He's like, oh yeah. I was like, yeah. It's like, and so then we just started like talking about like how we like Gundam for like 45 minutes. And you know what? Well, that was like half of the fucking plane ride. I otherwise would have just been like reading a book or just like staring at the fucking front of my seat or something.
Yeah, and if people say like, oh, it's easier for extroverts, I was like, yes, it is actually. Sorry about that. It's just going to be harder for you to get to overcome that. Like, life isn't easy. The good things in life aren't easy often. Like, so if you're an introvert, like you got to put the work in, man. You got to overcome your nature, which is part of growing up, and talk to someone if you see something interesting. Here's a really easy one, okay? If you see a woman and a lot of them will say, especially the men introverts will say, oh, I can't talk to women. I suck with talking to women. Talking to women is easy. They are creatures of great self-interest. So all you got to do is talk about them. So you go up to a girl. Let's say she has some distinct piece of jewelry on. Say that looks so. And obviously she's put effort into choosing and then wearing that piece of jewelry. So what you do is you give her a compliment. Compliments are super easy. It's just free diplomatic points. You give her a compliment, right? It's like, that's an amazing bracelet. What gem is that? That's so cool. That's just, I've never seen that before.
You ever seen the movie The 40-Year-Old Virgin with Steve Carell?
Yeah.
There's that one scene where Seth Rogen's character is just like, dude, talking to women is easy as shit. All you got to do is make it all about them and then ask a bunch of questions about them. That's how easy it is.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, like he does exactly what Seth Rogen told him to do. And like the woman's like giggling and like falling for him. And he goes back to like Seth Rogen's like, did I do it right? He's like, dude, that was awesome. I would have thought you were doing that for years.
Yeah. It is easy. It is like people want friends. So all these people who complain about not having friends was like, have you tried going outside? Have you tried talking to somebody? Like part of I think, especially the online introverts, is that they actually have this almost rancor for other people. Like they don't like other people. Like first off, if you don't like people, you better be committed to that, right? Like obviously you want something from people, or else you wouldn't be complaining online about being alone. It's like, no, you do. You yearn. Maybe you don't like people, but you do yearn for them. You have to find out how to like people. I was once babysitting for my little sister for a while over the summer, and she liked this cartoon on Nickelodeon called Cat Dog. I hated that cartoon, She wanted to watch it all the time. What I did is I sat there and I would compliment the cartoon until eventually I found enough things to like about it that I could tolerate it. Now that was an annoying cartoon. Most people are not as annoying as that cartoon Cat Dog. Okay, so what you could do is you can even use the compliments to steer the behavior and conversation to stuff that you're interested in and be a little bit selfish. Don't do it too much. Let them prompt you about what they're interested in, right? Like, let's say that I compliment that bracelet, that gems, and that gemstone, and she says, "Oh yeah, I'm way into gems." I was like, "Okay, well, I can get into gems now. Gems are cool. I like minerals. Okay, so let's talk about gems." That sort of thing. It's like now we have something to talk about.
Also,
It's
like,
that.
men need to men need to take a couple of pages from women when it comes to presenting yourself as something that is desirable.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
need,
Yeah.
men need to learn a thing or two about women. You need to learn how to dress and accessorize yourself to where you seem interesting. So,
Yeah, that's true.
my sense of dress is very timeless kind of style. I wear just kind of like nondescript tennis shoes, like I have a pair of like PF Flyers, which are pretty like casual. They go with just about anything. I wear a pair of just like standard Levi's, standard T-shirt. But it's like then I dress it up. So it's like I wear like a nice watch. I wear like some rings that like are interesting looking. Like they've got like interesting stones in them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have like a necklace that has like some interesting stuff on it. Like when it's cold, like my favorite leather jacket is like this bright cardinal red leather, like leather single front
Cool.
jacket, and it's like that jacket has gotten me more female attention than anything else I've ever worn in my life.
Exactly.
It's like how many guys do you know are brave enough to just wear a bright red jacket?
Yeah, like the things that got me the most compliments was for me growing my hair out long
Yeah.
and getting laser eye surgery, so I don't wear glasses anymore. Other than that, I've gotten compliments on this. I wear a $30 denim jacket that I got from like some outlet store. It's actually a size triple XL because it's Mexican sized, but because it's triple XL, it's actually kind of like short cutoff. So it's like a Trunks from Dragon Ball Z, the future Trunks.
Well,
Yeah.
There's a word for that. It's a bolero. It's like a bolero jacket.
Yeah, it's like a bolero jacket on me, and I wear a red muscle shirt under it, and that gets me plenty of smiles and compliments. Like women will smile at you if you're something to smile about,
Like the rings. Like I wear rings. Like so, I wear like one ring has like a big onyx on it. One ring has
nice.
a moonstone.
Oh, you got the moonstone. Yeah, that was the gem that I was complimenting the lady on last time.
Yeah, it's like I got one ring that's got like turquoise in it. I've got it like on my necklace. I have like this big piece of like green aventurine. And it's like women will be like, I like you, like I love your jewelry, and it's like, oh yeah, and then like you'd be like, yeah, I wear all this because like when I was in college, I had to take a geology course as part of like my science.
You got a cool story, story behind it. Yeah,
he's like, I didn't follow through on like becoming a geologist, but I thought geology was like really cool, so I got like into stones, and so it's like you can talk about yourself in a way that's not boring because like,
get your backstory on, yeah.
It's like.
There's also an art to complimenting women. Just another further thing of like, whatever you see them put effort into, compliment it, and then don't use the word beautiful. Don't say that looks good. By the way, never objectify how they look. Don't say you are beautiful. Say that your hair is gorgeous. That's actually gotten me like I was married at the time, like I was dedicated married. Now I'm like in this like weird gray zone of divorced and married, right? Like, but this girl was sitting there like staring at me, like smiling like this, like. And because she was waiting for me to ask for her number. And I was like, I wish I could, lady, but I can't. She's a hairdresser. I was like, that'd been a fun combo, engineer and hairdresser.
My advice to you, if you want to like have a little bit of a cheat code with the divorce thing, just be like, me and my wife were on the rocks, but I think we can patch it up. Because a lot of the home wrecker types, they keep their distance. A lot of the home wrecker types keep their distance because like they don't think they can actually have an end. They might think you love your wife too much, but it's like we might be able to patch things up, but we're on the rocks. It's like that gives them like an opening to insert themselves. So
I don't know if I do like I think we could. I don't like to lie, but what I'd say is like, I'm just coming out of a long-term relationship, which is absolutely true. Or that sort of thing.
Or like leave out the part where it's we might get back together. Just say like me and the wife we're on the rocks right now. Because I mean, you're not lying at that point. You're still telling them the truth.
Right. I mean, you could also just say very little about it. So like, well, things aren't going so great at home, We'll leave it at that, you know. And then
Exactly.
she'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that." Oh,
Yeah,
by the way, and
some of those chicks they get off on is just be like, "Oh, I want the married guy. I want the married guy." But it's like, well, the married guy's not going to talk to you if he actually loves it. If he actually loves his wife, he's not going to do that. So
well, I'll give one proviso though, is that like if you are married, if you do get married, and a cute girl comes up to you and she's attracted to you and all that stuff, first off, be transparent with your wife, but one of your homeboys might want to date, so get her information. Be like, yeah, like be open, be fully open to everybody. Say like, hey, you know, I'm married, but I got a lot of, but I'm having a barbecue right now. I got a lot of friends that are coming over. It'd be like a lot of fun to have you over
oh,
too. Bada bing, bada boom. Now you introduce her to your friends. Women are very attracted to friend groups because they don't get with one guy. You know what I mean? They get with friend groups, and you are the in with the friend group, right? They want a tribe. Women are seeking tribe. You know.
So did I tell you about the new side hustle I got at the bar?
No, what is it?
So there's a bar here in town that I like to go drink at, and they have this like community night thing on Thursdays called Pitch a Friend.
Oh, all right.
What Pitch a Friend is it's kind of like singles night, but basically you bring your buddy and you sit him down on a stool on a stage, and then you talk your homeboy up, and like you try to sell. It's kind of like what's that thing they used to do back in the day, the like bachelor auction.
Oh yeah, the bachelor auctions, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but like you're trying to like see if like maybe a girl in the crowd like wants to date your homeboy, or like the girls will do the same, girls will do the same thing. Like they'll set their like girlfriend up on the stool and they'll try to like talk up her as like why you should date her. And so it's like all of my like close personal friends are all like happily partnered. And so like what I do is like all of my drinking buddies is I'm like, tell you what, buddy, because I'm in sales, I'm like, tell you what, buddy, you pay my bar tab tonight. I'll go pitch you some woo. I'll go pitch you some woo at Pitch a Friend. And like so far, like 3 of them, I've gotten them a girlfriend for doing it.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah, and so it's like
you're just drinking for free, man. That's a great side hustle. That's awesome. That's so honest and wholesome.
I don't think at that bar. I don't think I've had a tab in like 2 weeks.
That's great. That's super cool, man. I'm gonna travel a little bit, so I got a motorcycle, and will travel as soon as I'm able to. I'm probably gonna take long weekends. Right now, I've kind of got it in with my boss. Like I've regulated. I've made it regular with my boss. I'll take sick days if I'm just depressed because he feels really bad about my situation. I was like, I appreciate that, man. Like, I'll take like a Friday off here and there or a Monday off, so I can have a 3-day weekend, go party, have some fun. Nashville's around the corner. I got Alabama down below. I got Floribama down at the Florida-Alabama border. So I'm just going to live it up, the bachelor lifestyle for a little bit. And then if something happens, something happens. I'm a big fan of not really looking. If you want to like being open to everything, but not actively looking for a long term. Now, if you want a short term, have some fun, right? You know, go play some putt or something. Yeah, by all means, like be aggressive. Be like, hey, you want to go putt? Let's go to putt because it's really about the putt. It's not really about the.
I'm kind of taking a break on that. It's I think I mentioned this like a couple weeks ago, but it's just kind of like I've got this thing where it's like the short term is like easy. In fact, like for me, it's like it's a little too easy, and so I'm like,
well, you just got to stop looking and be out there a lot and see what happens.
Well, it's like one of those things. It's like I'm tired of this like just turning into like a sex thing, and I'm pushing 30 years old. I'm not doing that anymore. It's like I need. It'd be funny.
It'd be funny because the thing is, I've never really attracted to lots of sex. Sometimes it would fall in my lap, but I really didn't care for it. I was like, it's kind of gross. It's weird. But like, that's just my personality. However, it'd be funny if I like got to the point where it's about to happen. And I'm like, psych.
You thought I was going to give it up that easy?
Yeah. I just have I have a stamp that I like put on their butt cheek and just like, I just scamper off like a leprechaun.
Yeah.
Like you've been cheek freaked by the, I don't know. Yeah. Let me do it. If you think that like wooing a woman and like seducing her is fun, fucking with them is so much more fun. It's like it's kind of funny. Just older, just like going full brother mode, just going full bro mode on the femmes. That's just funny. Yeah, I don't really get lonely. If I'm lonely, I'll go out and do something nice for somebody. Sure. Like I'll go volunteer, or I'll go for you know what? If you're lonely, get used to it. Go for a hike. Be okay with being alone because no woman wants to be with a man that has to be with her. You know what I mean? Because you just come off as desperate. It's like, no, I'm totally going to go on this nature trail walk by myself. You can join me if you want to, though. Women want that. Women don't want, you got to come with me on this nature walk. Oh, I need you there. I got to have you. It's like, she's like, oh, okay, that's weird. I've got the ick and I'm out. It's like, that's what they're going to do.
I see that like a lot from like some of these younger guys because we've got a bunch of new young sales guys who are like in their early 20s.
Mm.
Just joined the team and like that's how they fucking flirt. It's just like they try to like badger these chicks and I'm like, dude, you need to understand something real quick. That works for you right now when you're like 22 and you're muscular and whatever. When you've been doing this job for like 6 years and you get kind of paunchy and like your metabolism slows down, that's not like that's not gonna work no more.
Yeah. Luckily, my physique has gotten better with age, mostly because I started giving a shit about it. But like, I usually get mistaken for being 26, but that's 10 years younger than me. But I don't want a relationship under false pretenses either, though. It's like she thinks I'm. So I'm very open about my age, and it has lost me some like I'll get her phone number and then we'll text, and it's like, oh, I'm sorry. Like she'll say, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Because you're too old. I'm like, that's fair. It's fair.
Yeah. The whole thing about physique is it's like, I care about mine enough to like limit how much I eat. That's the problem. It's like in sales business, like, you know how it is. You were in sales. It's like there's going to be a lot of rich meals. There's going to be a lot of drinking. And like, so it's like, I do that, but it's like, if I eat like that with a client and like their team or whatever, it's like, I'm probably not going to eat for like another day, maybe like a day and a half. I'm not going
right.
Eat. And so it's like that's just because I have like very idiosyncratic like eating habits. But it's like these like a lot of these younger guys, like they have like a meal every day, and it's like
Jesus, yeah.
It's like you're gonna eat like this, like in this business, like have these dinners, and you're gonna be like paunchy before you know it. So you gotta
yeah. Often, being in sales got me really used to having salads, or like a hearty soup. Yep. When I say hearty, it's like beef and tomato or something like that, right? Because you're gonna I would have 2 meals a day with clients, going and visiting. Because when you're out traveling, you're hitting like 5 clients a day, at least for my business, I was.
Yeah.
And like if it's lunchtime or near dinner, you're having lunch and dinner. Or you might have multiple lunches too. It's like you might hit an early lunch and you might hit a late. Like so you just order a nothing thing because you don't want to be the weird dude who doesn't order anything.
You might have to, you might have to have like a liquid lunch. You never know.
But, you got to be careful about that one too. But yeah, it depends on the client how they feel about it.
Yeah. Well, but like the client wants you to have that liquid lunch with them, so like that's like the thing.
Right. Like if they're okay, yeah.
But no, it's like so like my go-to, like when I'm trying to like de-bloat after like a big busy weekend of seeing clients and like having like these extravagant lunches and dinners, it's like I'll drink a lot of green tea to kind of like help just like flush myself out. And then like usually those little like I call them adult Lunchables, but those little things where it's like salami and like cheese and like
yeah.
Or something. Yeah, it's like I'll buy one of those and then like I'll buy a thing of like hummus and like that's my lunch and that's like not even 1,000 calories. And I'm like, I'm not gonna eat anything else. Like that's it.
Yeah.
I'll just do that for like 2 days just to kind of like de-bloat from like all the booze and all the rich food that I just ate.
Yeah. It's a weird one because like to find a wife is so different. Like a lot of like one of the first questions I'd ever have for somebody if I was going to wife them up is I'd ask them like, what is the purpose of a marriage? And there's a couple of like the 2 main things are the wrong answers. Okay, the 2 main things like self-fulfillment, enrichment, become closer to each other, or that sort of thing. Like life is a big journey and we're 2 co-adventurers on this cosmic plane. That's a wrong answer. Because sometimes life doesn't take you fucking anywhere.
Yeah.
Sometimes life is boring and nothing actually changes or happens. The second wrong answer is for children. And I'll give you one reason why. What happens if you can't have children? Like what happens if something happens? Like anything can happen. Like does your marriage just fall apart if let's say you had 3 children and a car accident just killed them all? You gonna get divorced? Are you done?
Well, what if you get divorced anyway? What's going to happen to the children then? As a child of divorce, it's not going to be great. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is like if you have a material object, I guess what I'm saying is if you have a material plane objective for your marriage, you will be let down because you're putting it on a bad foundation. Like the only thing you could do to like the purpose of a marriage is to fulfill an oath to God. It is a calling. It is like it is on there with like I'm going to go and proselytize, and that's the right answer, right? But how many women would actually have that answer? It's almost none. It's
Right.
like fulfill my duty to God and my family.
Well, it's also kind of like it's kind of like that thing you tweeted the other day where the guy was like always like, how come like missionary work always takes you to like these scenic vistas, and you're like, why is it never like Detroit,
Yeah,
Michigan, or something? It's like, and you're like, but it's like that post. It's like what you said. It's like, oh yeah, someone were like, I want a marriage that's like adventurous. Like, well, okay, what if the adventure is moving to Sheboygan, Wisconsin? Are you okay with that?
right, exactly. That's what I think happened with my wife is that she was just maybe. I mean, she's a homebody though, so she's an introvert. Which, by the way, back to the introvert thing. I just thought about it, and I think I realized it. They have social needs, but they just don't know how to get them right. So that's a warning sign for misery. Like they do like introverts do want love, they do want attention, they do want compliments, right? They do want all these things, but they suck at actually getting them from anywhere. So they end up only getting it from their spouse, and it's just a lot, right? It's just a
Well, and
lot,
it's
to
also like
expect. And
like one thing I've learned dealing with people who are introverted like that, both men and women who are introverted, when it comes to romance, they have this very they have this idea that's sort of informed by fiction, and
yeah,
they have this idea that romance is going to be like, there's going to be some like whirlwind person comes into your life and like just saves you from yourself.
saves them. Yeah, that shit.
And
I hate that save you from yourself. You save yourself. Like,
that's kind of unfortunately that was like the big underlying issue with like that relationship I was talking about is like that's how she viewed me. She viewed me as like the hero that was going to save her from herself, and I was like, I'm not some guy from a romance novel. I've got my own problems. I've got my own insecurities.
yeah, yeah, and
I've
that's
got
what.
all this stuff I'm dealing with. I'm not some kind of Superman that's going to fix everything for you.
And that's a bit of evidence that I found from the marriage because there were only two real disagreements before she decided to call it quits. And one of them was like, Alex, you're not giving me enough affection. I was like, well, we could work on that. Like if you want to hug, but if you want a hug, come over and give me a hug. Like if you want to like go ahead and initiate it and stuff. Because I said like you can tell me you want more affection, but which is not a very effective thing. Like telling me something means that I have to change my behavior based on some abstract need, right? Well, or you could train me. Like train me. Hey Alex, give me a good morning kiss. That's what like if you want a kiss, give me a kiss. If you want a hug, give me a hug. It's reciprocity is how you build that affection. But it's like a lot of them feel like you're saying, like they don't feel like they're a reciprocal partner in it. They think that you're the supplier of it.
For sure.
Because they think it comes easy to you, right?
I was like a student of like a very macho kind of style of romance because like my father was a very romantic man. Like it's like with my mother and like with like when they divorced eventually with my stepmother, it's just he was very romantic. It's like he loved like big grand displays of romantic
Ah,
affection. And so it's like big hugs where he would like pick my mother up and like spin her around.
no,
Or
I see.
yeah, he's like, oh, let's go dancing, and just like stuff like that. And so it's like
Yeah, yeah.
that's kind of how I thought romance is supposed to be. Like that's what you're supposed to do. It's like if you feel that way, like if
And
that's
it still wasn't enough, huh?
well, no, the problem is like my ex, she didn't appreciate that kind of stuff. She thought it was
Oh,
she thought it was too much, and I was like, well,
oh yeah.
I'm not gonna tone it down. Like it's just like this is who I am.
Right, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's a lot of red flags there. But like, I mean, you gave it your best shot and you learned a lot. That's good. And you didn't marry her, which is better. Like for me, my wife, I'm glad I married her. I don't have any regrets because I learned to be more temperate and more confident and kind of not let stuff get to me. Like even with this divorce happening right now, like I stand to lose a lot of money. I'm about to get a second mortgage on this house just to keep the house, if I keep the house, right? So, but it's like,
Right.
what are you going to do? There's nothing I could do about it. It's money's money and business is business, and love is fleeting. That kind of love, right? Only the love of between you and God is really eternal, which is why you base your marriage on that. Yeah, like if she said like if I asked her like what is marriage for, if she said it's to show my love to God, I'll be like, well, that's okay, all right, I'll take that. That's great, But like for my wife, like she said she wanted more affection, and the second one, we had a little bit of a disagreement where she was kind of shut down at this point, so she wasn't giving me a lot of feedback. But I said to her like, it's not my job as your husband to make you happy because I can't make you happy, and that's not what marriage is for. And she was like, "What do you mean?" And I told her exactly what I meant, and I think that was what put the nail in the coffin. It's like,
I'm trying to remember how I was told it once. It's you should be like how did it go? It was like you should be happy within marriage, but marriage cannot make you happy. Is that like does that make sense? Is that
yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Like,
yeah.
I kind of like don't regard happiness as a goal at all, even in life whatsoever. Really, like I forget who it was. I think it was Cosmo was telling me over the phone the other day. It's like the Jordan Peterson thing of like if you really want a fulfilling life, take on as much responsibility as you can handle, and then take a little bit more. Like
Well,
keep busy and keep doing things that are fulfilling to you because happiness is at the end of a long like. First off, you shouldn't need happiness because you might not get it. Like you
well,
might.
also happiness is it's a transitory emotion where it's not
Yeah.
you can't be happy all the time. That's impossible.
Well, and
It's
also like you're not always. So as I once won a national competition, I've been working at it all year. Kicked ass. The rocket went up. I was the instrumentation guy. All my instrumentation looked great. It beamed the data down. Everything worked exactly as it should, and we got huge accolades from like NASA senior scientists, and we looked really cool. I've never felt more low and empty when I won first place because I got it, and it didn't feel the way I thought I should feel. And the fact is, chasing happiness is a great way to overbuild up your expectations and then destroy yourself when you don't get it.
yeah, it's there was that the quote from the pilot episode of Mad Men where Don Draper says something like what is happiness? It's the moment right before you need some more happiness. And
Right, yeah,
but it's just like yeah, like happiness, like being happy, like that's a very transitory emotion because like it eventually it will fade. Like you can't just be happy in general about everything because that's just
yeah.
not that's not tenable.
Like you can't even count on yourself to make yourself happy. How can you count on your spouse, your husband, or your wife to make you happy? It just doesn't
something
work.
will just happen to you, and you'll just have a bad day someday. It's like maybe you get like an
Yeah,
maybe you're driving to work and you get a nail in your tire. Well, you can't be happy about that. It's
right, right.
it's just like something's gonna happen where you can't be happy all the time. And it's the idea that like it's just like something is going to grant you eternal happiness is like it's not nothing can give that to you. I mean, the love, obviously, like the love of God can, but it's like that. But that's something you're gonna get someday. Like eventually, like once you've passed on, like and you're like within heaven, like at His side, then you will be happy forever. But it's like
Yeah,
you're not gonna get that until you die. So there's no point expecting it here on Earth now.
right, right. Exactly. That's the thing is like Christians kind of low key realize that life sucks. Like a real Christian is going to know, like they're going to expect life to suck, and they're going to be okay with it, and they made their peace with it, which is why nothing ever actually sucks. Like once you've made your peace that life sucks, it stops becoming a disappointment. You're like it's just like traffic, right? Like you drive and you're in traffic. There are people who have really high expectations of traffic. Like, oh, I'm going to get to work in 30 minutes. Hopefully everything will be all right. Those people are the most miserable people. People who are like, yeah, it's going to be shit traffic today, whatever. And they're like in there just singing along to ABBA, and they just don't. They know then they're going to be 30 minutes late. 30-minute drive is now going to take an hour and a half. And they're just like, yeah, it is what it is. It's life. I'm just going to listen to my audiobook or I'm going to like do some karaoke. Those people are living the life. And that's
Yeah,
what Christians kind of do is that we know life is going to suck. Our expectations of this world are very low, and we're kind of just moving with it. We're moving inside of it. We are from this place, but we're not of this place.
sure.
And I think my wife's faith must have just failed,
It's
honestly, because she was.
it's
Sh-
the
sh-
memento mori principle of just like you have to
yeah,
remember that you're going to die someday. It's like you can't wrap yourself completely and totally in the affairs of this world and
yeah,
just let it break you down because you have to remember that it's like this plane of existence that we find ourselves on it's going to end someday. Like it's
yeah.
rather you like whether you like you live a very safe
Well,
life and you live to be 100 and you die of a heart attack or you get like shot in an alley tomorrow by a mugger. It's like you're gonna die someday, and you could do everything right and die tragically, or you could do everything wrong and live to be 100. That's not the point, but it's just like you have to understand, like it is going to end someday. Like it's
yeah.
gonna be over.
And until then, it's also going to suck. Like
Sure.
my wife, for me and my wife is like, I could have a stroke, and it's like now I can't do anything for you, and actually you have to take care of me full time, and
Well,
you're never going to get the love that the affection you used to have. It's like that might happen. It's like, are
yeah,
you
it could
gonna?
happen, but like it's
Like, are you bringing enough strength to the marriage to deal with that, or are you needy and your husband is no longer provide what you need and you're going to abandon your oath, sort of
uh
thing.
yeah it's something about that. I mean, like Christianity is like it's one of the most honest religions there is, because it tells you up front, like, yeah, like this existence is not meant to be comfortable or good or just, because I mean, from the Adam and the Eve story, like it tells you straight up, like once they get cast out of the garden, all bets are off. Like all of the mortal
Yeah,
pains are upon us. So like we know what it's going to be like. We know how, like we know what's going to happen. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be comfortable. But like, that's also the best part about Christianity is it's honest up until the end too. That we know that eventually, like in the end times, hopefully none of us have to live through that. But if we do, we know that ultimately it will be all right. Like eventually, like God and Christ will
yeah,
succeed in the
yeah,
end. So it's like we know that like it's gonna be hard. Eventually, for some generations, it's gonna get harder, but eventually, ultimately, it's gonna be okay. Like everything will just be
yeah.
all
And you see this a lot with like the whiners on the internet, like whiners on X, of like they're not. You can tell that they're not okay with life sucking, right? You can tell that, like, because they're complaining about everything. Now, there's some stuff that you can complain about, like this isn't right, this should get fixed, this is bad. That's good. You should point out stuff when it's bad and say that it's bad. But you can tell that people are despairing,
sure.
and they're not embracing the shittiness of life. Of like, oh,
Well,
I can't afford a home, or all the girls are this way or whatever. Like,
my
that's life, man.
yeah, my was it my grandmother? She was a child of the Depression, so she knows, or well, I say no, knew. She's passed, but she knew that life would be hard and unfair, because she
Yeah,
lived through like one of the hardest and most unfair times that mankind has ever known. But she told me something when I was young, and this is sort of like like a familial like legacy lesson from the elders, because like she told it to my mom told it to me, my grandmother while she was still alive, she said it to me, and if I have kids, I'll tell it to them. But she said that life is like a horseshoe. It's narrow at both ends, it's wide open in the middle, and it's hard the whole way through.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's true. Like that's absolutely true. It's life is going to be hard the whole way through. What you do over the course of your life, that is completely up to you. But you got to know it's going to be hard.
Yep, yep. It's and people who don't embrace the hardness of life, they tend to get worn down because they're expecting every day to be better, and sometimes it isn't. Um, and it's like, if you expect that of other people, right? Like, back to marriage, it's like if you expect that of your spouse, that they're always going to be there for you. It's like, no, that's not in the vows. Sometimes we fail. Sometimes we make mistakes. Sometimes we're just not able to do it.
We're
Sometimes
all
we're
gonna
careless.
we're all gonna
You know,
fail. It
yeah,
happens. We're
yeah.
all
So it's like,
we're all sinful
so it,
people.
so like this whole thing of like, oh, dad didn't make it to the ballet recital. It's like, that is a tragedy, but it's like, this is not marriage breaking, okay? Like, you got to work with what you got, and you got that husband who either sucks with the calendar, or maybe he's working super duper hard. Is like, well, you can't really fault the guy for like doing that, but maybe you can convince him to make less money and work a less strenuous job. But also, that might just be his life. That might just be what he has to deal with. So it's like, I don't like this whole thing of having all these material gating. Like, the only thing I look at for a marriage, of a quality of a marriage, is just effort put in. Like, if the guy and gal are putting in effort, so what more do you want? Some people just fail, but we're not okay with everybody else. We're not okay with each other's failures because we have our expectations way up here, and often, I gotta say, like, to the fault of the ladies, often they don't express those expectations explicitly. So it's like,
Oh, I mean, like we'll keep talking about this. I mean, just to like kind of loop it back around to the
yeah, sure.
original topic at hand. I mean, men are easy. We're very easy. We are all like every man ever is like a wiry hound. If you give us the basics that will sustain us, we'll be loyal to you till the end. And it's like
Yeah,
there's a lot of guys who like unfortunately like they'll do that to their detriment. Where like Joe Kent. It's like, was it he got wrapped around the finger of some crazy chick who's like convinced him to like turn his back on America in favor of Qatari oil money or whoever's signing his paychecks. And it's just like a woman who can like show a desperate man a little bit of attention and affection to her own ends is very dangerous because men,
Yeah, yeah.
we need that. We're simple. We're simple. Like we are simple creatures. We're loyal
Well,
creatures. Sometimes we're vicious creatures, but like we're simple and
we
like we're
could.
easy to bend if you're not smart enough.
The problem is like the loyalty there. Like that's what we're reading is loyalty, but like as a man, you gotta purge the neediness.
Sure.
Um, that like that's why in my marriage, um, and this is why I might have to go with a foreigner because it's a foreign concept to most Americans of like, she is my wife, but she is still just my wife, right? Like I have duties to her. Yes, I have certain duties to her, but there are boundaries I don't cross, and I'm not going to need from her anything so bad that I would cross my boundaries of like loyalty to my country. You know what I mean?
Sure. No,
Like
of course.
that
No,
is needy. I think it's neediness more than loyalty.
past a certain point, you have to draw a line in the sand and be like, no, it's like, look, if you love me, you won't make me do this.
That's why I'm saying, like, at the get go, if you're both of the same mind of like, marriage is not about making each other happy, like that eliminates most of the neediness and it eliminates most of the boundary pushing, because it's like, all right, my husband's going to be late for dinner again because he has a really tough job. I'm not happy about it, but neither is he. Both
But
of us
also,
are
like,
unhappy. We
I mean,
get
like,
it.
you have to remember though, it's like the idea of just like the cultural archetype of like the workaholic husband who's like he's missing those dinners. Like that's fiction. It's like it's stuff that like
Yeah, yeah. It's
it's good. Was
catastrophized.
it? Well, yeah. It's good. Like it's good. Like conflict for fiction, but in real life, the husband who lives that way, who's working the hardest, who's like like striving the farthest, who's like doing all that in his job, like yeah, he's gonna miss a lot of those dinners he agreed on up front. But you have to remember that's the guy who eventually he becomes like the big boss. And he can just say like fuck it, be like underlings like underlings like
Right, like the good times are
arrange
coming
yourself.
later. You know.
And then like he takes his wife out dancing at like 4 p.m.
Right.
Like
Well, and
before work is
that's
over. Eventually the guy who works that hard, he will be in a position where it's like that he won't have to work that hard anymore. Like eventually, like he'll treat his wife better than he ever did because he's established himself in a way where it's like he's got the power and he's got the bona fides to where he can go
what
back
also.
to living life on his terms.
Well, here's a question though: is like, what if the husband that's just the way he likes to live his life?
Well, I mean, maybe like that is true. Like there are guys like that. It's like I told you about my old boss before he got let go. The older guy who was always talking about like he's like, the old ball and chains, Colin. But it's like he was always being like, all
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
He was always like, all right, motherfuckers, I expect another 30 sales on the board because I'm not gonna be here on Friday. I'm taking my wife out to the golf course. We're gonna have a
Right,
doubles
right.
round, and it's
Well,
just like
I'm
stuff like
well,
that.
the thing I'm trying to establish here is that some husbands just aren't present that much, and I'm trying to say like that's not a bad thing if that's the
No.
boundaries you're okay with. Like it's the same thing of like it's the same expectation of like, okay, let's say you've got 5 kids or 8 kids. It's like she's obviously not going to have that much sex with you. Like, that's not a fault of hers. Like, she's a workaholic because she's got 12 kids.
Uh,
Like
yeah.
she's got shit to do. Like
I
maybe the
think
husband also, and she loves it, and
I think
that's the lifestyle that you're okay with. Like you
I think the closest window to that I can see is like I know what you're talking about, and like the closest personal window I have to it is my maternal grandfather, my grandfather on my mom's side. He was a very stern man. He was very he was very stern. He was very humorless, very moralistic, very religious. And he when I watched him with my grandmother, I didn't think there was a lot of love in the relationship because he was very rigid and she was very
yeah,
sweet.
so yeah, that's what
But
I'm saying is like sometimes
as
it's just like
as
that.
well, but as I got older, I came to realize like when I was in like my kind of like teenage years, like the last years I had with them, I realized he did show her affection. He was just a very different kind of man. It's like I mean
That's
like
what I'm saying. That's what I'm
the
saying is
greatest
like,
generation, like that's just kind of how like some of them that's how it worked like they were just very hard people. And so it's like
well,
but that makes the show of emotion that much more special because it's like when the hard man can allow himself to be soft like that it's more like it means more. And so
right. Well,
That's what I mean. It's like there are like the guy you're
Yeah,
talking about,
I
he
get
does
you.
exist. Like the guy you're talking about, he does exist, but it's like he's also not completely devoid of emotion himself.
Yeah. All right. So the point I'm getting at, though, which you're providing great examples of men who are similar to that, but you're bringing out the redeeming features like the gems in the rough. I'm saying that like you could marry a man who is actually just cold as ice, and you have to stay loyal to him,
Sure.
and that's just how it is. Like that's the hard horseshoe. Sometimes like he could, but he just doesn't like. I mean, he might put on a. The thing is, if he just genuinely doesn't feel that way, like what is the other alternative? Right? He forces something, right, and then it's fake. It's like that's what I'm saying is that if you start couching your happiness on your marriage, you're going to be so fucked because something is going to be like that. Something is going to be he's always late for dinner. Something is going to be he always forgets my birthday. Something is going to be he always rushes to work and doesn't say bye. There's always going to be something. That's what I'm saying is that you have to be and if you're not okay with all of it being like that, all of it being a mess, you're not going to be okay with a bit of it being like a mess because you're still now because what I'm saying is like in all your scenarios, you're saying that there is some redeeming thing that first off she's okay with. Second off, there is a redeeming thing that she's now couched her happiness on. I'm like, that's dangerous actually because that's why I give the stroke victim analogy a go. It's like maybe there's nothing left now. Like he might be somewhat of a vegetable for the rest of his life.
Sure.
I was like, that's what I'm saying. If you're in a marriage for the sake of affection, you are a pet. You are not a wife. You are not a husband. Like
right.
Like this is now if it's there, that's great. That's wonderful. That's like the flowers that blossom in the potato row that you hoe. Like, oh, I didn't explicitly pursue the flowers, but I found these like tulip buds and I put them in there too, and they're real pretty and they decided to grow, and I'm happy for it. But I don't resent the potato row because the tulips didn't grow. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying is that what I'm saying is that marriage is just like life. It can absolutely fucking suck. Are you still loyal to it or not? And most guys are, to your point before, you said about loyalty. And unfortunately, like a lot of ladies, as you said before too, and I agree with, and I would say on my own, is like they've been just porn brained by romance.
Well,
Disney.
I mean, but yeah, it's like yes, that's true, but the opposite is also true. I mean, there's plenty of fellas who like step out on their wives.
I don't need to. This is a thing I don't like to do. Is I don't like it. I don't like when people do this. We can criticize women. We can criticize women without also saying, but men also. It's like we can do one at a time. We can do one at a time, and we can talk about men later too. But it's like we don't interrupt one person's talking to because someone else also needs a talking to. You know what I mean?
Alex,
everyone gets their due.
I'm just saying we've all
so pussy whipped. Fucking pussy whipped. Oh my god!
I'm just saying we've all seen a Martin Scorsese movie or two. Like,
oh my gosh! It's like. Well, the thing is,
we've all seen Goodfellas, okay?
All right. Well, I'm also gonna say like what you've done also is a feminist tactic, and it's been conditioned with you by the education system.
Oh God.
Where it's like you can't have a fault in one person, without bringing up the horrendous, over catastrophized, over hyped up example of the other.
I'm just a fan of being.
I don't think you're being fair at all. I don't think you're being fair at all. I think you're. All right. How many dudes do you know who beat their wives?
Well, I didn't say beat their wives. I said stepped out on their wives.
Like how so?
I mean, like they had an affair with another woman.
All right, how many guys do you know who did that?
No, because you.
How much more common is it?
I don't know, but like
I think all right. So on one example,
had affairs on their wives.
Yeah, sure. But on one example here, I have ladies have lofty expectations of happiness in marriage.
Sure.
That's like 95% of women in America. How many dudes are cheating on their wives? It's probably like, let's say it's 30%.
Okay, well, no, I'm sorry. The way you phrased what you said, I thought you meant they were like having affairs because they were porn brained on romance. Is that not what you?
No, I just said porn brained.
Okay,
I use because that's porn because romance is porn.
I thought you were insinuating they were having affairs because of that. Okay, so no.
Oh no, I would say they're having affairs rather than all right, so you're in.
No, I'm sorry.
All right, you should have asked a question. You should have asked a question.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not sure. Ask a question because you're going to derail the conversation to bullshit. This is how you circle the toilet. So you circle the toilet.
All right.
So when I say porn brained, it's like I said porn brained by Disney and romance novels.
Sure, but like no,
right?
it's just like it
Yeah.
was, what I thought you meant by that was like like having an affair, and so it was like that's no, that's
I
much
don't
more.
know how you get. I don't know how you get there from there, but let's leave that. Let's leave it. What my point is though is that these ladies get this in their notion that romance and marriage are about saving somebody,
Oh yeah, some
and
yeah,
that's not what it. And that's not what it's about. Like marriage is not a charity.
sure.
Yeah, it's sure. It's 100% true. Marriage is not it is
Oh
not
no,
a thing that
no, I
uplift.
agree.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah, yeah, yeah. It is a central major miscommunication, especially with younger men, that they think marriage is supposed to be a charity, so they end up putting up with bullshit like your ex.
well, we weren't
Which,
married. Like we weren't married, but like
well, I mean, I'm saying like you're in a relationship though.
sure. And but like
Yeah,
I didn't like I never viewed it that way. I wasn't saving her. It's just like I thought we were you know just like having fun. I thought we were just like having a fun time. It's like
right, right.
it was past a certain point. I
But
had
it's yeah,
past a certain point, I had realized a pattern of behavior from her. It was like she thinks I'm like the hero that's gonna like.
yeah.
She's like I'm the guy with like the like riding up on the white horse that's gonna like save her from all of this, and I'm like I can't even save myself from like the stress of my job. It's like I
Right, right.
I can't save you from all of like your stuff.
This is the thing about it is that uh if you wait for it to become a pattern, and unfortunately it is this the way. If you wait for it to become a pattern of behavior that you recognize, you always recognize it way too late. Which is like I kind of encourage guys like on the get go, jump on it. Like you'll notice that on this podcast, I will jump on stuff immediately as soon as I don't like what I hear. I'll be like, wait, no, we're not moving past this. Let's talk about this. Yeah, like you gotta treat women like that too a little bit. I was like, wait, I gotta stop you right there. What do you mean I'm taking your sister with us too?
Hold
That's
the
not.
phone.
I didn't. Like
Hold
I
the phone.
didn't. Yeah, exactly. Hold the phone. I didn't agree to take your sister or your friend. Well, and they'll be like, well, but. I was like, no. We're gonna. It's you and me. Like, listen. I just said like either we're gonna go out tonight, like right now as is, or I'm turning this car around and we're gonna go home and we're gonna replan and figure something out because obviously there's some signals crossed. Did I get my signals crossed? Should I turn around? It's like no. It's like, and it's like if you start with setting boundaries early, it's better because the problem is charity is by definition out of your normal boundaries. Like it's out of your boundaries. You're giving is not a natural state for people all 100% of the time, right? Being able to give is actually really rare and really difficult. Most people, as you said, like I can't even deal with the stress at work. Me too. And that's one of the things that was like during the period of my marriage there towards the end, where she was like saying like, "Oh, there's not enough affection." I was like, "My job has been more stressful than it's ever been in my entire 15-year career.
Well, and
Like, I should be getting a back massage. You know what I mean? It's like
I
I
think
need help."
I think it was yeah, Alex. I think you and I are like I think we're at the level of just kind of like you know friendship.
Yeah,
I can share certain things with you.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
there was a time in my career when I was first starting out. The job I had was a supplementary role, where I had to ensure a lot of logistics, and it's a very stressful job. It's like I was seconded to the sales department, but it's like a training job. You start with that,
Right.
you learn from the sales guys, helping them out, and then when you're ready, you move up to sales and like you stop doing that job. But
Oh, I
at the
see.
time, it was very stressful. Like handling the logistics of sales was like it was really stressful, and we got in a bad time where a bunch of our transporters were like canceling their contracts because
Uh,
they were getting better contracts from somebody else, and we couldn't match. And so I had a bunch of product I had to try to move, and I didn't have any of my transporters to move it for me, and it was stacking up. And technically speaking, everyone who is like of rational mind would have realized it's not my fault. It's not that I'm doing something wrong. It's just I don't have the tools at my disposal I need to make the job work because the people we outsource our transport to are quitting us. They're firing us as a client.
right.
And I didn't really know how to deal with that because I was brand new and nobody was helping me. The higher ups who could have like called
Oh,
somebody,
geez. Yeah.
it's
Wow.
like they were just like they were watching me like just waiting to see if I would spiral off and fail, and they were making it harder. The guy who's the GM of the plant I worked at the time, he was just like maybe you don't understand. And I was like, well, no, I understand. He's like, let's take a walk. You and me, let's take a walk. And I was like, okay. And so he took me out to the like the bull yard where we kept all the like all the product, and he's like, it was just stacked up, like stacked up on stacked up on stacked up because it wasn't moving, it wasn't getting chipped. He's like,
Right.
do you see the problem here?
Yeah.
And it's like, as yes, 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 I do. And it's like, and so I was like, I was trying to throw every Hail Mary I could to like get someone to like help me, and it just wasn't working. And I went home that night, and my girlfriend, like, she was complaining about something. I can't even remember like what it was because I was on like,
Yeah.
I was on fumes. And like I was like, yeah, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna cook us dinner. Like, we'll talk about it later. I'm gonna start cooking dinner. And I just like I got lightheaded, and I remember falling back, and
Mm.
I don't remember anything. And then I remember like some paramedics being in my face, and then I remember taking a ambulance ride. And basically, like when I woke up in the hospital room, the doctor talked to me, and basically he said I had a nervous breakdown. It's like
Oh wow. Yeah.
it's like my job was so stressful on me that I had a nervous breakdown, and the amount like the astounding lack of like understanding and sympathy I got from her, like that's like that was the beginning of the
Yeah.
end. It's just like
Yeah. Yeah.
you watched me collapse, you called the parent, like you called the EMTs for me, and then like you saw like how hollowed out I was the day after, and you couldn't understand how stressful my job was trying to keep us afloat. And like
It's
she never understood the concept despite me trying to explain to her repeatedly that my job was very stressful.
yeah. Like a lot of these American women are basically just children. As I'm sorry to say, it's like they don't step up, and the way the women grow is through service, and a lot of the way women grow is through service to men, because that's how women learn what the real world is like, because the only other way to learn what the real world is like is to go out into that shithole, and none of the women really want to deal with that shit. Like
Oh,
even in the career fields, women tend to pick the cushiest jobs,
well, they get like
which is
they
good
get a
to,
chip
you
on they
know.
get a chip on their shoulder. Like if they do
Yeah.
go out and do it, they get a fucking chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, and exactly. So it's like the only way they can, and that's why like high empathy women are the most valuable. But like that's what I'm saying about like the romance porn brained stuff is like they're very me. Where's my romance? Where's my day? Where's my Hawaii? Where's my stuff? Where's my vacation? Where's my travel? And it's like like being in service to a man is like the last thing they ever think of, you know. And it's like it makes them completely unfit. And single women are the most miserable people statistically.
I remember
Single men, yeah.
oh, sorry. I was gonna say I remember I saw a very nihilistic take about literature, which at the time I hated, but as I've gotten older, I kind of agree with it. Where it's
Yeah. What is it?
you ever read The Great Gatsby?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know how like the whole like premise of the book is like Gatsby's doing everything, he became a bootlegger and like a criminal, he got all this money, he got this mansion, he did all that so like so that Daisy would like notice him and come back so they could like have their happy life together. And then
Yeah. Yeah.
eventually like all she really wants is like an affair, and she doesn't actually like want to like have a life with him because
Right. Right.
she's like settled with her life with Tom Buchanan.
Yep.
And it's like he keeps like Gatsby keeps thinking he's like I can fix this, I can square this, like I
Yeah.
can do
He's
this.
a.
And then
Yeah.
like then he gets shot and he dies in his pool. And the literary take I saw is like the best character, or the character in The Great Gatsby who's the most well off is actually Jay Gatsby, because he doesn't actually have to live with the heartbreak that he can't fix Daisy, and so he just
No.
dies. He just dies thinking he could, and like that's why he's the best off. And I was like, well, I want to disagree. Unfortunately, I can't, because it's kind of a poignant take on the book. Is like he died in his delusion, so therefore he's actually the most well off.
And that's the thing about men is that as boys we are very loving of our mothers, and the delusion. Like again, when I said like part of growing up is overcoming your nature. Part of it's also overcoming your delusions, and your mother is going to love you in a way that no other woman's going to love you. So every man starts off with a delusion that women are going to love them like their mother, and that's
Yeah.
just not true. And what you're supposed to learn, especially if you have like lots of sisters, men with by the way, the best people to get married to know relationships are people who have lots of brothers, lots of sisters.
Mhm.
Girls with lots of brothers actually get sexually assaulted a lot less. They tend to have better outcomes, like because they just know men, and their expectations are set. They know that men are not going to be romantic because their brother like farted on their face when they were 4 years old, and then laughed and then threw dirt at her. You know, they're just or like they know that romance isn't on the table because they crashed her 12th birthday party. Like her brothers basically brothers and sisters set good expectations as to what life is actually going to be like with the opposite sex, in
Mhm.
my opinion. You notice that guys who don't have a lot of brothers either also have a lot of trouble like socializing with more extroverted bro dudes. So this
Yeah.
like this plague of only children is actually I think the main reason as to why people are so miserable is just they're only children they don't understand. Like
Well,
my
if
wife,
you're
my wife is an only child basically.
if you don't have an older brother, if you're like this is like this advice only applies to like men. If you don't have an older brother, um, you need to play a team sport. You need to join the
Yeah,
football
yeah,
team,
yeah,
or you need to join the baseball team because that's the only way you're going to learn what like male camaraderie looks like. Because
yeah.
if you don't, and like it's like I've seen like a lot of I've seen like a lot of guys who like they try to be like, oh, I know what it's like. I was in band. I was like, band guys are a bunch of
Band guy.
band guys are a bunch of fucking wussies. They're a bunch of wussies and weirdos. Like every band guy I know, they're a fucking like
Oh,
like
by the
every
way,
band guy I know, they were a fucking lefty weirdo. It's like all the guys on the football team are like cool and they're jock bros and like that's who you want
I
to hang out with.
I want to drop this on Cosmo at some point. He's going to hate this.
Was he a band guy?
But no, no, no. Well, I don't know. I don't think so. But anyways, no, it was a remark I made on X where Cosmo was mad at me. I think he was genuinely irritated because he said like, "This is the worst take you've ever had, Alex." And I was like, "That means I'm getting somewhere."
Well, maybe
I
he was
said,
being sarcastic, but
"No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
oh, he
We had a
wasn't?
couple.
Okay.
We
Okay,
had a
no,
back
you
and
did
forth."
for real. Okay.
No, because I was going after it. I said that if you're really bookish and scholarly, you're kind of a bitch. It wasn't said that way. I was saying by Victorian standards, you would be considered very unmanly. No, oh, you know what I said? I'll tell you exactly what I said. I said that reading books is the most feminine way of learning and I said because it's one way, it's dictatorial. Like you are being told what to think by this book. And my argument back was I want to talk to the book. I want to argue with the point because that takes me forever to read stuff because I'll read a paragraph and I'll then walk around my room pacing, saying what bullshit that was and why I disagree. And I was like,
you ever read the Professor Challenger series by
no.
Arthur Conan Doyle? I think you'd like those because Arthur Conan Doyle wrote Professor Challenger as this character to like counter because he got so sick of left wing academics in Victorian society trying to like criticize him for like how he wrote Sherlock Holmes that he just created this like this literary like science man who's also like a very burly mannish man with like a bad attitude
Well,
that just
and
like
this
argues
is
with people and like gets into fist fights with like other professors who don't
oh,
like
and this is the
thesis.
this is the point I was and this is the point I was going to. Thanks for reminding me. All right, so I actually went and asked Grok. I went and asked Grok what is the masculine ideal and of Victorians and what was their percept what was the Victorian opinion on literature and reading books. And you know what it was exactly the same opinion I have. Books are good if they have to do with your vocation, but if you're reading like a lot of fiction, you're basically a girl. I think you're basically a girl, and fiction is for girls.
Yes.
I think and it's like and
Well,
it's and the thing and the Victorians, the ideal masculine was a jock. Like the Victorians loved jocks. They thought, and if you look at their literature, and if you look at the literature, and you look at a lot of stuff, you have to see people aren't writing about what's true then. People are usually writing about what they're rebelling against now. So when you see all of the bad guys being this burly, confident, loud talking stuff, that's what they're rebelling against because that was what was in charge. Like it was common for Victorian men, especially in the collegiates, because this is where the whole collegiate thing comes from, the whole Greek life stuff, and it was that the collegiate life is a lot of athletics. It was, and the things is the only things you would really read are if they did with your field. Like if I was an engineer, like when I was a kid, I used to read engineering textbooks. Like I was 13-year-old kid in the library reading a textbook, and that's because the Victorians were what trained my family essentially. Because we went to Victorian boarding schools back in the 1800s, and that changed our attitudes towards a lot of things. But like, it's weird to see my family's attitudes, which I thought was like just Asians, is actually traces its way back to the Victorians. Of like, no, at the zenith of English civilization, they were like, fiction's for girls. Go play sports. That's what you should.
The idea of like the sort of like cultural perception of like being a Poindexter. Just like he reads too much. He does too much like brains like brainy pursuits. Like he's not like a real guy. It's like even that like that's just a stock character. It's like it's a stock character for fiction because in real life like actual guys like that they still did something. Like they still contributed because like a good example is Do you know who Doug Kinney is?
No.
Doug Kinney is the guy who created the National Lampoon, like the company.
Oh, okay.
It started as a magazine. He was a very nerdy guy. He wore like these big, thick, like horn rimmed glasses. He was kind of scrawny, but he loved to play tennis. He was a huge tennis pro, or well, not pro, but like he was a huge like tennis like amateur. Like he loved to play tennis, like just on his own personal time. But also he was just an active guy. Like all of his knowledge was all literary and like comedy and stuff like that. He was not a very physical guy, but it's like he went out and did stuff. Like he was a party guy. He always knew how to make the girls laugh. It's like you don't need to be like the jock. Like you can still have like a Poindexter archetype. It's like you got to do stuff.
They're very extra. Yeah, exactly. So we get this. What I'm saying is like from literature, you get this very stupid view because the thing is, literature is written by authors, right? And that's a very small subset of the population. You get this view of the Victorians of like very. Oh, I'm going to read my book in my study, very erudite. I'm going to discuss Aristotle with my friend. Only the professors would do that.
Brandy to go with this nice.
Yeah. It's like no, like the Victorian men were like Henry Cavill looking dudes, like playing polo, like on the horse, knocking it. Someone gets hit with the ball really hard, and they like, oh, don't worry, lads, no worries. I'm back up on the horse. The horse gets knocked out. I'm get another one. Bring me my spare horse. They're like.
When they did like discuss literature, it would be like at the gentleman's club, and it'd be like they'd be like having drinks. It'd be like it's like I say, Reginald, did you read that? Did you read that?
All right, I don't.
The Shelley I recommended you. It's like, well, yes.
Well, did they actually do that? Yeah.
No, they did. But it's just like, it was like, well, yes, I did. But I didn't think it was very good. And like, then they would just like argue, like they would just like argue over drinks because like one guy's like, I want you to read this book, and the guy would be like, I read it, I thought it was terrible. And like,
you got the Victorian man treatment. The last stream you were on, you got the Victorian man treatment towards the end. I apologize for that. I was just like, good. I'm glad. I was one of my favorite streams. I had a fun time.
We did have the Victoria, and I watched your solo stream, and I will say, like you talked about me, I will say I agree with your points. That being said, I stand by what I said. Even though I could
that's fine.
Even though
that's fine.
Well, no, even though I could have articulated it better, I will say an overarching point is that the reason why Hollywood fucking sucks nowadays is because there aren't that many directors or like creatives who are willing to like actually stand by their work and be like, no,
right.
Well, this is what it is. This is what I think. It was like, well, we ran it by the test audiences, and the test audiences think we should do this, and they'll be like, okay, yeah, just go ahead and change it. I guess I still got my credit, right? I still get my paycheck, right? It's like they let their creation be like bastardized by like committee. And I'm like, no, you know what? If you don't like my fucking screenplay, I'll argue with you about my screenplay. I don't care if it gets made anymore. And it's just like, but it's like I stood by what I said. And so that was Victorian like gentleman society when they would discuss things. It's like, well, I think this. It's like, well, I'm not changing my mind. It was like, well, neither am I. And they were just
I remember like the literature guys like Hemingway was a major literary figure in the post Victorian era. Like but here's 2 points though. The literary discussions would be had by a subset of the population. Most men, I think, weren't bothered with fiction. Second,
if they were, it had to be like really good fiction that everybody was reading. Like, it couldn't be like niche fiction.
I don't know. I would have to see like because I want to know what would a Victorian senior clerk actually read. Like let's say you're a clerk at a shipping company and you're a very high ranking clerk. Like, do you actually read fiction at all? Because they might not.
Well, he'd read Sherlock Holmes because Sherlock Holmes so that's the
maybe.
Thing, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like back in the day, like literature was like rarely ever fully compounded like in one volume. You go to the bookstore and buy. It's like,
right, it was in pieces. It was I'd enjoy it over the weekend kind of thing.
It was in pieces that would be in magazines. So like a guy would like so your shipping manager before he goes to the factory to get into his office and like check his ledgers, he would go by the newsstand and he'd buy a copy of the Strand magazine, which is like that's a current events periodical of the day, which that's actually what Sherlock Holmes was publishing.
And we can see and I should be able to look up who the customers were.
And so it's like, I say these current events sure are interesting. He'd read the articles. He'd be like, I say the new Sherlock Holmes is out. Let's see what Holmes is up to today. And he would just he would read it and it'd be like chapters of a story. But I sure do hope he solves the mystery next week. And then he would just keep reading the current events. It would be like a little breakup of just like the news.
That's what I'm saying is part of the thing is we have this weird thought of the Victorians being this like hyper read, hyper well read, and they were, but they were hyper well read in things that were
Like classics.
nonfiction contemporary. Yeah, they would do the classics, but that would be mostly to get through college. I think that'd
Sure.
be like a college requirement, and they might never touch it again. If you were very high class, you'd make references to it all the time, as they do. But like, anyways, I think a lot of the stuff that we get about Victorians too also just comes from people who are old and retired, and they would be the ones at the clubs having the discussions and arguments. In my
Yeah.
mind, there's oh gosh,
Well, they could be
he's
doing
a
it at the pub for all you know. It's, they
right,
could
right, yeah.
after work and like do it there.
Yeah, so there's a YouTuber. He's not really a YouTuber. He's an author, I think, a poet. You might like him. He's an English dude. He's very Catholic, which is why I think you might like him. But essentially, every video, his name is Malcolm something. But every video, he's like inviting you into his little study. It's
Uh-huh.
all cramped. All the bookshelves are like
I like that.
burdened down with books.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
cool.
it's very cozy. It's very cozy. He's a great. He's a to me he's like quintessential old Englishman because that's what you do. I think that's what a Victorian would do. If you've been uptight, buttoned down your entire life, you finally got to a retirement age. Yeah, you're going to jump into the old periodicals and you're going to collect every Sherlock Holmes that you can find and you're going to
Well,
read it and you're going to love it. And
eventually
then
they
you
would
finally get to
publish it.
enjoy it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm
eventually
saying is
they would
like,
publish them, but like for the while, it was throwaway fiction. It was like paperback
yeah,
novels for people to be like, it's like, I sure hope Holmes catches them
yeah.
next week. Or it's
It's the fun.
it would be the stuff like Dracula. Dracula was originally published in like
Right.
periodicals, and so people would like read Dracula, and be like, oh, this is very macabre, I must say. Like he's like,
And
I hope Jonathan Harker gets out of that dreadful castle.
yeah, that's what I'm saying though is that people think of the Victorians as being these like hyper literary, hyper culture people, but I think what people forget is that the Victorians stood on the back of young men to middle aged men, and those
Sure.
guys were hardcore about their vocation. Like the English were super serious about being competent at
Well,
their
it's also
job, and they'd stay busy with it all the time. So
at the same time, America was consuming fiction more readily than Britain was, because in what the Britons call the Victorian age, we call the American frontier period. And in the
yeah,
Old
yeah,
West, like cowboys were buying, they called them dime store novels. Like
yeah.
it'd be a
Well,
book
there's a
that
lot of
was
time. Yeah, a
yeah
lot of time on your hands.
maybe like 50 pages, and it's like just a little succinct story of like Wyatt Earp like having a duel with some outlaw, and like well, that sure was a good story, and like you throw it away or you use it for like toilet paper or something, or it's like
Yeah, give it. Yeah,
next time you're in town, you'd go buy like a new dime novel. It's like Jesse James outsmarts the sheriff, and it's like, oh, that sounds like a good story.
that's
You
I
buy
guess.
that.
Yeah, it's a good point because like a lot of because by the way, the frontier days had a lot of downtime, a
Yeah.
lot of downtime, whereas the industrial London did not, and that's why I'm saying like the thing I impress upon people is they want the halcyon days of like Victorian England. I was like, well, then put down all your books and pick up these books because these books are like um and like the books I would pick up would be I'm just going to make up some book names. I would say like an analysis of the lubricating qualities of various greases and
Yeah.
unguents. And I'd be like,
Exactly.
here's a book because that's what I used to read when I was a kid. I'd read dry ass textbooks, and
Yeah.
guess what? I became a really
And
good engineer.
yeah, like
you know?
was it like or like a guy who's like a butcher would be like anatomical dissertations on the
Yes,
butchery of cattle or something.
exactly. Like, oh, there's a new book from Scotland from this one, but like, oh, this is the Scottish style. By the way, that is a thing. There's actually Scottish. There's a Scottish, Spanish, and English styles of butchery. So, like, yeah, like once you've mastered a butchery discipline, you would want the periodical about another nation's butchery style and see what the merits are and study it. Like
Yeah.
just the same way as just the same way as anyone who seeks mastery. That's what I'm saying is like fuck knowledge that is not useful
I think that
until you have spare until you're retired.
yeah.
If you want the golden age, you know what I
I
mean? Like
yes, but yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I think the last like vestige of like the Victorian kind of like touch on like culture in terms of like periodicals. I think the last real true touch of that we had, it's gone now, but this is gonna sound kind of silly, but Playboy magazine, because like Playboy in the 60s and 70s, like that's a very comparable kind of like style of like what the English like middle class and like upper middle class would read is like you'd buy a magazine It would be a magazine that had a bunch of current events, a bunch of political talk, a few short stories from various
Yeah.
authors,
Yeah.
a little bit of titillation in there because you're a man, you got to get your blood up a little bit, and then ads for shops and sundries,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but that's what Playboy was for the longest time. A lot of people think of it as like some kind of sordid magazine, but no, it's like you could buy an old copy of Playboy from like 1964, and the like pretty much like the majority of the magazine would be some interview with William F. Buckley about what he thought about Vietnam. It's like that's like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
majority of the magazine. It's like, oh, here's the centerfold. Here's Miss March. She's really pretty. Anyway, back to that William F. Buckley interview. What's he got to
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
policy? It's like
There you go.
like that's what like Playboy was. It was just like it was like
That's
men
funny. I
wanted to
didn't know
like
that.
yeah, it's like men wanted the current events. They wanted sporting knowledge. They wanted like oh, here's the sports column. Like this is what's going on in the world of football right now. It's like it's like oh, I sure hope Bear Bryant can can carry this season. It's like stuff like that. It's like that's what Playboy used to be. Is like and like now it's like it's I don't even think it's still in publication anymore. But it's like for like that like
Yeah. Yeah.
back in like the golden age of like the 60s and 70s. Like that's what Playboy was. It was a Victorian style magazine. It's like here's a little bit of everything. Here's your current events. Here's your politics.
This is actually kind of something that I've been wanting to do is like have these micro stories, and I would even say it's like come up with something clever instead of like quarterly, but instead of quarterly, it's like wheneverly, like it's published wheneverly. I would love it if there was just a magazine, and you just publish it, and it's a physical thing that gets mailed out. It costs like 75 cents for it because it's literally just printed on someone's computer, or like if someone has a decent machine at their home, but it wouldn't be that much. I would love it if there's just like let's write 5-page stories that are just titillating of some sort, just because I want to practice, I want to get you in this mood. And I'm studying right now C.S. Lewis's On Stories a little bit to try and because I want to know the mechanics. I don't all right, here's another controversial opinion. I don't think if you want to create stories, you should not consume a shitload of stories. If you want to create ideas, you should not consume too many ideas, because you will it's ideas are like an idea is like taking serotonin, right? Like it gives you a bit of a boost, like, oh wow, I'm reading someone else's ideas. However, if you read too many of them, your body will stop being able to produce it. And your body will stop being able to produce your own ideas. And you'll notice this with academics who have studied too much, is everything they say is a reference to something someone else said. I don't give a shit about that. Tell me with your chest what you think. We'll stand on your own 2 feet. I don't give a shit what like some philosopher said. What are you saying? And defend it. And it's like when nobody has, and this is the problem, this is the malady that I see, is that we have made academic everything creative to the point where there are no original stories, not because everything's been said, right? You could always make that argument, but it's the fact that nobody has anything to say because everyone's been reading what everyone else has been saying. Sometimes it's good for someone to reinvent, Tale of Two Cities with the monkeys and the typewriter. Like sometimes it's okay if that happens once in a while. But
yeah, you could be influenced by styles, but you have to be very careful that you're not constantly like referencing something else that came from that same style.
Yeah, that's
that's difficult. Like
I get really irritated with people when I say, and I hate this about talking with academics. Cosmo's really good about this actually for an academic dude, but they'll say like, I'll say something and they'll say like, well, that sounds and then they'll name some author or philosopher. And I was like, well, I don't know who the fuck that is. So maybe it really sounds more like me. Maybe I sound like me. That's what I sound like. Because I don't know who the fuck that is you just told me. I couldn't care. Like, because what it is, it puts every idea into a bin. And that's why those people say everything's already been done, because they could always put everything into a bin. I was like, no, you've lost the art. Like, you've lost the art of storytelling when you do that. Sometimes a story, and it's like, to me, a story is a movement. It's like a orchestral movement of just emotions you're trying to elicit in the reader. I want them interested, titillated, nostalgic on the first 10 pages. Right? Then I want them hopeful, optimistic. All right. Now I want them anxious, a little bit anxious, nervous about the future. And then it's like, I want them crestfallen, destroyed, despair, decimated, and then I want them a little bit of hope, back to decimation, and then another hope. And this one, is it a false hope, or is it going to take you to the nice climax? Is the story going to unfold the way you want it to? So it's like that's what I want to do with the writing, right? So I would commit like 10 pages of I want you to like. You're a stranger. You got off a bus in a strange town, and I want a local girl, and I want the reader to like this local girl. So the next chapter, I can fucking kill her. I'm just kidding. yeah.
It's like, but like, I mean, like, cause like that's like, I did a really bad job of articulating it last stream. It's like that, like the mercenary story thing. It's like I drew from like a different like bunch of things, but like I think the biggest like when I was thinking like that idea out, the thing that I was most like thinking of is like I want something that's like a pulp, because like I feel like that's a lost art. Is like everything's got to be a cinematic universe now. It's got to be
right.
Everything's got to be like direct. Perfect sequels. Like I don't want that. I want to make these characters. I want to give them a story. I want the story to happen. I want these characters to like keep interacting. But it's like the next adventure that happens. It's like Indiana Jones. It has almost nothing to do with the adventure that happened last week. It's adventure to adventure to adventure. It's like I want pulps. Because pulps, like nobody does pulps anymore. It's like you can't just make like a film about a character and like he has an adventure. And then like the next movie happens and it's completely removed from what happened last time. It's like it's got to be a perfect continuation. Characters have to come back. Antagonists have to come back. It's all a sequel. It's like no, just have it be its own, like their own isolated story. It's like maybe you missed the first one. Do you have to go watch the first one? I think you should, but if you don't, you're not going to miss out on the second one. Like it's
right.
Like they don't do pulps anymore. And like that's like pulps are like
what's funny is that
a great way of storytelling.
You know what's the funny thing is that like the pulp thing actually kind of sounds like the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah. With very limited exceptions for like certain characters and like certain things that happens. Like all of the Fast and Furious movies are kind of like their own thing to the point where like they don't even become pulp anymore. They become like actual like comic books because like in the first movie, Dominic Toretto is just like a guy who can drive a car really fast.
It was like a serious undercover cop movie, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then by like Fast and the Furious 4, like Dom is like a guy who can hold an engine block up with one arm because he's like a superhuman. And like Ludacris is just like he's just like the hype man for the races. But then like by Fast and Furious 4, he's like the world's greatest hacker. It's just
that's too funny.
Yeah, they just kept
so
giving him stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's stupid, but it's fun. But it's fun. Like you're having fun.
I think it'd be fun if there was like and this all right. So here's a bit of advice for if you're in a discussion where people are going to be critical of your ideas, and you want them to just shut up already. Say like, all right, you got a point. I think I see your point. We're gonna stick with mine, but for now, just for the sake of conversation, we're just gonna stick with mine. But I see your point. I'll think about it. Because that's all they want. And it'll yeah. But anyways, it'd be fun if there was actually just a mercenary serial that just happened in Africa, and it's just them literally fucking shit up in Africa all the goddamn time.
That was one of the ideas I had, like the Henry Cavill guy. I had in a series like, what if someone just like hired him to be like the train up guy for like their weird like just like pauper army in like some third world country. Like how would that go?
I would probably call it I'd probably call it a Ghosts of Rhodesia or something like that, or the boys of or like the Rhodesian boys.
Yeah,
and it's like this mercenary group made up of grandsons of people who served in Rhodesia who are fighting in Africa, and they just know the area really well. Their political ideology is somewhat diverse that might put them. And this is what a story is about. It's about making lots of conflict.
Yeah.
And what was that mercenary movie? Expendables. The Expendables series is actually not a bad, because it shows everybody kind of has conflicts with each other a little bit. Like, it's a good time. But all right. Anyways, I'm gonna have to call it because my battery's running out and I'm getting cold. What do you think?
I get it. Yeah.
I think actually Joe Kent would actually be a pretty good storyline for a mercenary movie. It was like he's gone rogue and he's fled the United States, and now we got to track him down. He's like an old war hero who's turned coat.
Yeah, the was it the Henry Cavill character I have is just like he gets hired to kill Joe Kent. It's like, well, he got a little too cute with leaking those secrets. We want you to take him out. He's like, all right, is the money in my bank account yet?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's always like some conflict with a mercenary about like I don't know about this mission, but then he ends up doing the mission anyway.
Well, that's like that.
Because
That was one like issue I didn't really get to touch on with that. Is like I don't want these characters to have like moral like these like moral implications. Like they are what they are. They know what they are. What they are. It's just like I want you to like watch a movie and just have fun with them on the journey. Like root for the
well,
bad guy.
okay,
Root for
so
the
he's more
bad
like a
guy for a
James.
change.
Well, he's like a
Yeah,
James Bondish character. Oh, so he's kind of like an anti-hero.
yeah.
Like
It's like
he's a protagonist, but yeah.
yeah, it's like James Bond or like the Spencer novels by James Elroy, I think it was his name. But it's just like just root for like just have fun with him. Just like he's on this adventure. It's not like he's hurting like innocent people. Just like have fun with him on the adventure. Just root for the bad guy for a change. Like just enjoy it. Like just be along for the
Yeah.
ride.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. All right, that is a different kind of movie. All right, cool, man. I'm gonna call
Yeah.
it there. It's been a lot of. I'm gonna end the stream. If you stay behind for like 5 minutes, I'm just gonna head
Yeah,
inside.
sure. Yeah.
All right, man. All right, and stream's over. Bye, everybody. Thanks for
Bye.
watching.
Bye. Have a good night.
Love you. Love your eyeballs.